every corner, every block, powered by the people. One heartbeat, family over everything, and this what we believe in. Underneath the pavement, you can feel the city breathing. All together, here we go. If you're ready, let me know. Came too far to give it up, came too far to let it go. You can feel it in the vibe, realer than it could be told. When it's us against the odds, that's when we get in the zone, yeah. You know how we do, this is every day. Champion been running through the DNA. History is ours and it's more to make. This is in the soul and the heart, this is who we are. Together we rise, together we ball. Forever stand tall, that's who we are. The city heating up, we down for the cause. It's time to show the whole world who we are. Yeah, who we are. It's time to show the whole world who we are. Only winners on my side and we unify. Let's go. I can feel the whole city come alive. Only winners on my side and we unify. Yeah, I can feel the whole city come alive. Stepping in connection, we the keepers of the culture. Repping for the section, ain't no keeping the composure. Synergies and energy and victory's the motive. Winners everywhere, but history's where the home is. Yeah, you know how we do, this is every day. Champion been running through the DNA. History is ours and it's more to make. This is in the soul and the heart, this is who we are. Together we rise, together we ball. Forever stand tall, that's who we are. The city heating up, we down for the cause. It's time to show the whole world who we are.
Welcome to House Park Senior Night. It's the first night of November, and it is as big of a night here in downtown Austin as there has been all season long. You're tuning in on the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network. We're also part of ESPN Austin 102.7 FM's Game of the Week. I'm David Roy in the broadcast booth. With me, as always, Paul Longoria. And Paul, this is big of a game, really, for both teams coming into tonight, as there has been all season. Austin High comes in, they're the home team, they're 4-4. They're sitting at 500, both overall and in district play coming into tonight. Probably a pretty good spot, I think they would have thought, coming into this game at the start of the season.
Yeah, most definitely, and the stakes are big. I mean, we talked about it off the air right before we came on, that the winner of this game is going to get in the playoffs.
Right.
Bowie, we talked about, has an oddly scheduled bye week next week, which is the last week of high school football, so they're done after tonight. So the winner of this game moves to 3-3, and or if Austin High wins, they'll go to 3-2. Bowie will finish at 3-3, but when you look ahead, Austin High's got like Travis next week. Long story short, if the Maroons can win tonight, they'll be in the playoffs, which would just be huge and a big goal for the season for the kids.
Well, for Austin High, you talk about it, it's a playoffs or bust for both teams. And with Bowie having that bye week next week, it almost feels like for Bowie, this is an extra playoff game.
Yeah.
Your lives are at stake coming into this game here tonight. Come into tonight, they're 6-3 overall on the season, but like you said, 2-3 currently in conference or in district play. You get the win tonight, that bumps them to 500, pushes Austin High down to 2-3, would put Bowie in that top 4. Remember, the top 4 teams of the district are who goes. On the flip side, we talk about Austin High, like you said, win improves your odds of 3-2. Most likely going to end the season 3-3. You have Lake Travis, unless you can catch them on an off night next week. But it gets you into the playoffs, and maybe more importantly for this Austin High team, it gets you to 5 wins.
Yeah.
Austin High, coming into tonight, has not picked up 5 wins in a season since 2020. Been about 4 years since the last time the Maroons have done that. And they have to do it against a pretty good Bowie team here tonight.
Yeah, against a really good Bowie team. As we talked about, they're coming in at 6-3 overall on the year. They beat some pretty nice names in their non-district schedule. But the interesting thing is, when we were talking way back in August before the season, I think we sort of strongly suspected that it would come down to how this game would go to determine which of the two teams gets into the playoffs. So both teams have been able to take care of business to this point, and so now their destiny lies in their hands.
Well, and you talk about the early expectations from the start of the season, and when we looked ahead at the schedule, like you said, we looked ahead to the Bowie game and said, that's going to be a really big game for both teams. The other thing that we looked at coming into it was Austin High had their bye week last week, and we said coming in, man, it's a little late. It feels very late in the season to have a bye week. Not quite as late as Bowie, obviously, but it's still pretty late. Well, the way the season has shaken out, though, for Austin High, that bye week could not have come at a better time.
Yeah, correct. It came at a really good time. They'd been battling some injuries, particularly at the quarterback position.
Right.
So a chance to get the quarterback room healthy, a chance to regroup for the biggest game of the year. We'll see if we've got anything extra in the game plan and how they come out. But as you said, at the start of the season, you might have thought, well, that's not really fortuitous to have it the second to the last week. But as it turns out, quite fortunate for the Maroons to get that bye week coming into this game against Bowie.
Well, you mentioned it. Quarterback position has been a position of challenge, I would say, for Austin High coming in tonight. Certainly has not been a story of riches, an abundance of riches at the position for the Maroons, mainly because John Latham has been in and out of the lineup. Whit Davenport has been in and out of the lineup. And at one point you had to turn to Bryson Batts taking snaps back there and Elijah Jablon taking snaps back there through a couple of games before Latham finally came back to action in that Aikens game. So as the quarterback position got healthy, that turns into that Aikens game, you lose a key member of your secondary in Luke Rensby.
Yes,
and,
yes.
We hope he will be okay, but had a season-ending leg injury there. Don't know the specifics, don't know the details. We hope him and wish for him all the best. But coming in tonight, you're now a little bit more thin at that cornerback position. But like we just said, you have had a now bye week, an extra week of preparation to figure out the depth at that position.
Yeah, to get ready. And this is an Austin Bowie team that they can put up some points. And so it'll be a challenge for the Maroon defense. I think when you look at the schedules, there's a lot of commonality between the two teams and how they've matched up against district opponents. The one outlier is that Bowie really challenged Dripping Springs, whereas the Maroons struggled when they went on the road to Dripping Springs. But other than that, comparable scores against the two powers in the district,
sure.
Travis and Westlake. That kind of similar result. They had similar results against Aikens and against Del Valle. So I'm expecting a really good matchup tonight. I suspect we'll see a lot of hard effort from both teams, and obviously we're hoping that the Maroons can pull this out on their senior night.
Well, you talk about that Dripping Springs game, and you mentioned it. 38-35 was the final score for Austin Bowie, 49-7 on the other side for the Maroons. But as we talked about throughout the course of that game, despite the way it felt, or the way it looked on the scoreboard rather, it certainly didn't quite feel like it should have been 49-7 by the time of the night was over.
Correct, and keep in mind that was also when really the quarterback injury situation really hit the low point, so to speak, for the Maroons, with both Latham and Davenport being out. So they really had to string some stuff together, and it was tough to do that on the fly. So perhaps that's kind of an X factor in the difference between those two games. So regardless, I think we're in for a really, really good matchup tonight. It's a beautiful night, beautiful weather here in Austin, easily the best weather we've had of the season.
It finally feels like the fall weather that we've been waiting for. Maybe a little muggy.
We're still in
shorts and golf shirts, but we're into the mid to high 70s here tonight. It is a cloudy sky. Was a little bit worried that we might have a little bit rain, but it has held off. But you talk about the Bowie offense, and this Austin Bowie offense comes into tonight averaging 32 points per game offensively and averaging over 350 yards per game as an offense. Also high on their side of things, just under 300, 298 yards per game. Now, Coach Riley, who we know, he's a defensive guy. We want to control the clock. We want to control the ball. We want to run the ball and keep your offense on the sideline for as long as it can. Limit the opponent's opportunities while maximizing our own.
I think that's what they got to do. They got to really kind of take the air out of the ball, and sometimes they've gotten into a rhythm of doing that, but then they've also sometimes gotten away from it. A lot of times to their detriment. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what unfolds tonight. This matchup.
Well, the other aspect to it is you talk about needing to stay to the ground with that and maximizing also High's opportunities. And you mentioned they've gotten away from the running game at times throughout the course of the season. Well, one of the big challenges, though, for Austin High, in order for that game plan to make success, your possessions have to be maximized. And Austin High, we've seen it all the way back to week 1. Early on especially, they struggle at doing just that. Now, over the last couple weeks, maybe against some lesser opponents like Aikens, they had a little bit more success with that. But even in that Aikens game, the offense got a little bit lethargic coming out of the gate. At one point, it looked like they threw the train back in reverse. And then John Latham comes in, the senior, the leadership, and he kind of conducts and orchestrates a much cleaner operation. I expect we'll see Latham at the start here tonight as well, of course, being the senior and on senior night. This is big of a game for both teams as it could possibly be. This is as good of an atmosphere as it could be for both teams here tonight. The Austin High faithful have come out in force tonight, in part because it is senior night. For a lot of these players, this is their last home game in front of these fans. They want to go out on top. They want to bring the home fans, the parents that have supported them, all the way up to this stage, want to send them off with a win as well. But we talk about it being senior night. It's also a little bit of a bittersweet moment for the Bowie team because this is it. There is nothing after this if you don't get the win. I hope we've made this as clear as possible to everybody watching and listening at home. The stakes could not be bigger tonight than they have been for either team all season. And the only way they're going to get any bigger is if one of them advances and comes up with a win here tonight and has a playoff game.
Well, you can't ask for anything more than just the ability to control your own destiny this late in the season, and that's what it's come down to. So it's as simple as that.
Well, the Maroons will get set. We'll take a look at the starting lineup and the starting roster for Austin High. Of course, we've talked about at length John Latham coming into tonight, some of the injuries he's had to battle through, and has come back into action. Against that Aikens team, went 5 of 10 through the air passing, had a touchdown, of course, had one of his own on the ground as well. But we also know he's probably not the biggest story on this offense, and we know who that is. He has brought a host of support with him here tonight, and that is Bryson Batts. And we've talked about it all season long. He's the straw that stirs the drink of this Austin High Maroon offense.
Yes, explosive. He can hurt you in the receiver. Obviously, he's a running back, special teams, and just an explosive player. He just needs a little bit of a crease, a little bit of daylight, and he can really make things happen. So running game has really been the consistent strength of this team. They've had some moments throwing the ball, but it's been kind of a mixed bag, as we alluded to earlier, both in the level of play and the injuries. So I think we'll see some leaning on the running game, but you're going to have to be able to make some plays in the passing game.
Well, welcome in the 102.7 ESPN Austin radio audience here and to the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network. David Roy, Paul Longoria here in the broadcast booth, as mentioned, and we've been setting the stakes for those of you just tuning in. This is as big of a game for both teams tonight as it could possibly be. Austin High comes in tonight sitting at 500 on the season, 4-4 overall, 2-2 in district play. Bowie comes in tonight 6-3 overall in the season, but they're 2-3 in district play. So the winner of this game tonight secures, without a doubt, a playoff spot, because tonight it's Bowie's last game. They won't have another district game. A loss here would put them at 2-4, and Austin High would improve to 3-3, securing that fourth spot in the district. Vice versa, if you're Bowie, a win tonight improves you to 3-3. Austin High would drop to 2-3 in district play, and would secure Bowie that playoff spot, because even if Austin High were to knock off Lake Travis next week, Bowie still has that head-to-head in district play, and Bowie would go ahead of Austin. Stakes could not be bigger. Austin High senior night here at House Park. It's a massive crowd here tonight for the Maroon faithful. Bowie has had quite an impressive turnout, and crowd is still filtering in. I mean, there's a line out to the street. There's a line of traffic sitting out here trying to get into the parking garage. So I expect we're going to be near full capacity here tonight.
Well, it's ideal in every way to come out to the game. Like, as you mentioned, seeing not just for the players, for all the other performers, the cheerleaders, band, drill team. I mean, it's for the seniors. It's their last effort. It's just an absolutely gorgeous night for football. It's beautiful. It's cool. It's nice and cool, but no inclement weather, and I think we're in for an outstanding game tonight. Really looking forward to it.
Well, and we're coming off the heels of Halloween and Trick or Treat. Now, the game itself is going to be a treat. The question's going to be who's getting the treat at the end of it, and who's coming away feeling like they got tricked.
That's right.
We'll see. I mean, and we've talked about it with between Latham and Bats being the two big names of this Austin High offense, and Bats being perhaps the biggest of the two. I mean, Bats coming into tonight, over 600 yards on the ground, just rushing. 323 receiving yards for him. He's got 179 kick return yards and another 180 in punt return yards, and a total of 10 touchdowns on the season just between his rushing and receiving numbers. Bats is going to be the one that everybody focuses on. You're going to hear his name a lot from the both of us here tonight, because this is, as we mentioned, Bats is the straw that stirs the drink of the offense. But some of the names that you're probably going to hear as well are guys like Reed Childers, who maybe doesn't get enough credit, maybe gets overshadowed because of how explosive Bats is. When Childers is pretty explosive himself.
He is.
Had 2 carries for 65 yards against Aikens a couple weeks ago. Both of them went for touchdowns. One of them was a 60-yarder in and of itself. So
then he had that long run against Dripping Springs.
He had the long run against Dripping Springs. You had Logan Davis with a couple of long plays himself. Davis has got an 80-yard touchdown run to his name. Childers has had a couple of big runs as well. You'll see Brandon Thomas, who's had a couple of big games in his tenure. So it's going to be, I mean, you've got between them 3 different monsters at the running game. Passing-wise, you've got Donovan Kurak, of course. We all know Kurak is going to be the big weapon, but Davis is out there as a receiver, and he's certainly capable. There's plenty to go off of on this Austin offense that there's enough that Bowie should be kept guessing as to what to do defensively. I think first and foremost, their main takeaway is going to be whatever we do, know where number 1 Bryson Bats is at all times.
Know where Bats is. Let's account for him, know where he is, and so we'll see if the Maroons maybe try to move him a little bit, pre-snap and some motion just to kind of hide him a little bit. But obviously he'll be the number 1 focus of the Bowie defense.
The Maroons, as we mentioned, this is a great crowd here tonight at House Park and Austin High. And their senior night, looking to come away with that win. We've talked a little bit about Bowie coming into tonight. And Austin High's offense, I mentioned earlier their points per game, which is about, it's under 30, right? Offensively, Austin High, 26 points per game. Bowie on the other side of things, I mean, they're putting up 32 points per game offensively. But it's a little bit of a misnomer because Austin High's had a couple games where, unfortunately, they haven't put up a lot of points.
Yeah.
One of them being a Dripping Springs game where Bowie did, go tit for tat a little bit there with them, put up 35 in their own right. So it's a little bit skewed on the Austin High side as a result, and over the last few weeks, the offense has come clicking, partially because, like you mentioned, the quarterbacks have gotten healthy between Latham and Davenport. But that defense for Austin High continues to be superb as long as their offense is able to help them out.
That's right. They need some help from the offense. Keep the other team offense off the field, and it's a two-way game. Two-way game. You can't just rely on one side of the ball. You need some help on both, and let's see if the Maroons can get that tonight.
I had a couple of instances, over the last few weeks. Some of those blowout losses that Austin High has endured has really just become because the offense was unable to get out of its own way. We talk about that Dripping Springs game. Several moments where Austin High, it felt like, should have converted or were in a position to convert and keep a drive alive and couldn't for one reason or another, whether it was a penalty that was self-inflicted or they couldn't get enough of a push. Dripping Springs beat them head up.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever it was, you ran into that situation for Austin High. And that when those sorts of things happen, well, the defense keeps coming out, having to defend a short field, not as well rested as Dripping Springs defense was. So it can be a compounding of errors that you come into tonight you cannot afford if you were Austin High.
Got to play a clean game. Got to minimize the mental mistakes, the physical mistakes. Hold on to the ball. Keep the turnovers down. Keep the penalties down, and just play as hard as you can.
Well, here come the Bulldogs for Austin Bowie, wearing the black helmets, the white jerseys, the red pants. For a second, I don't know if it was the numbering of the jerseys or what, but for a second I thought, did they borrow the Atlanta Falcons uniforms? It looked a little bit similar.
Bijan Robinson.
They don't have the black pants, obviously, that the Falcons do, but for a second, the way the numbering sits and the lettering of it, I'm just like, man, does look like the Atlanta Falcons coming out there? And Austin High, of course, coming out wearing their maroon helmets, maroon jerseys, and white pants. And comes into tonight, you look across, you look at Bowie, you look at Austin High as they're getting into their inflatable tunnel here. This looks pretty evenly matched between both teams.
Yeah.
I know what the numbers say on paper. Yeah, Bowie is probably a little bit favored in that regard. Their offense put up a few more points. Defense is, given up about the same, I would say, that Austin High has given up. But, so you maybe give that offensive edge to Bowie. But when you look size-wise, you look across their roster, it's a pretty even match.
Yeah.
Bowie wants to air it out. They're capable as a running team, but they want to attack through the air. They've got a prolific passer in their own right.
2-year veteran, Cruz Tello.
Cruz Tello out there, Rowan Wells being a capable receiver. He's going to be your big one. 600 yards receiving for him coming in to tonight as the Maroons take the field here for the first time tonight. Senior night. Packed house. And still filling in.
Coach Riley looks kind of pacing like a caged lion right now.
Well, we're ready for it a little bit here too. The Maroon faithful certainly, and you talk about it being a caged lion. Well, coming into this, it's got that feeling, doesn't it? And I don't just say that because of the fence, but it feels like it's a cage match here tonight between these two teams. That two-man enter, one-man leaves.
Well, when it comes down to football season, it's really all about how you do at this time of year when the leagues have really changed, and it's late October, early November, and that's when things really get decided. And as we talked about, you can't ask for anything more than just being able to control your playoff destiny. You're 100%.
Is what it comes down to, and to be quite honest with you, if you cannot get excited for a game of this magnitude, we've been laying out the stakes. There's a lot on the line tonight. You might need your pulse checked. I don't know. I mean, this is that kind of a game, that kind of an atmosphere. Your captain's heading out there. Should be no surprise. Seniors across the board. Perkins, Peeler, Thomas, and Khalil Green being the captain representatives for Austin High here tonight.
Khalil Green.
Maroons and the Bowie Bulldogs meeting at midfield for the coin toss, and we'll see what Austin High will do with it, because for the most part it seemed like, if I recall, they've been on the deferment side of things. Last couple times out that we've seen them. Of course, Bowie will get to declare, and whosoever shall win the toss gets to declare what they get to do. So it'll be an interesting decision. Of course, Coach Riley will have sent them out there with that instruction beforehand. Bowie won the toss. Oh no, Austin High won the toss. Okay. And true to form, they deferred. So Coach Riley was saying, we want to put our defense out there because we want to get a first look at what Bowie wants to do offensively. We don't want. Coach Riley told us before the season he's not a patient man. Well, that applies here too. He doesn't want to have to wait and see what Bowie does. He wants to see what they're going to do first, so that their defense can adjust a little bit sooner and allow their offense to figure things out as they go. So Austin High will get the ball to start the third quarter. Bowie will get it to start here tonight. And we will allow now for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem by Moses Horta. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight were the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Bowie will start on offense. Austin High will kick it to them. Bowie will start with their backs to the field house, and they'll work their way towards downtown Austin and the parking lot here at House Park. The Maroons will try to defend. It'll be interesting to see who will take Luke Rensby's spot on this Austin High defense to open things up tonight. Of course, we talk about the defense, Khalil Green just as big a part and as involved around the line of scrimmage as is Will Peeler. Peeler, of course, the leading tackler on this Austin High defense. Cruz Tello, the big-name quarterback on the Bowie side of things, comes into tonight 99 of 163 on the season passing-wise. Over 1,600 yards accumulated through the air, 18 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes passing-wise. Austin High, though, and this front seven, guys like Lawson Stoos, Andrew Nelson, two big-name seniors up there, Michael Friday, Gray Morey, Jackson Taylor, Holden Taylor, going to be called upon to apply as much pressure as they can and try and force Tello into making some of those mistakes.
And the kick's away.
A little bit of a different style kickoff than we've seen from the Maroons previously, and a fair catch signaled at the 18. So we get a first look at Tello and this Bowie offense. We've talked about Tello at the quarterback position. We mentioned Rowan Wells a little bit, over 600 yards receiving. He's caught 8 of Tello's 18 touchdowns thrown here this season. Tight end and wide receiver Owen Langdon has caught another 6 of them. And Owen Ball, of course, a big name to keep an eye on this Bowie offense. A start, snap, a little wide receiver screen here to the left side, a little fake, and not much doing as Bryce Deering comes up with a first tackle, but it is right at that first down marker. Miles Kim is lined up starting in Luke Rensby's place at corner.
Yeah, a lot of cushion they gave up on that first one. Pretty easy, simple pitch there from Cruz Tello.
Snap, little bubble screen to the left side this time. It's Wells. Bobbled up, ball came out. Austin High's got it. Will Peeler coming out with it. And the Maroon defense turns the tide early.
Big early play, so we're liable to see some shifts in momentum and emotions, and right now Austin High gets the first big play. Let's see what they can do with it. Great starting field position, 41-yard line of Bowie, but big play there. Fumble cause, forced fumble recovery.
Best starting field position the Maroons may have all night long. They'll start at the Bowie 41. Latham out of the gun, bats offset to his right. Latham with time, fires a rocket for Donovan Kurak. Kurak's got it down inside the Bowie 30-yard line.
Boy, that was a heck of a throw. Might have been one of his better ones of the year. He had to drop that thing into just a tight double coverage there. Kurak over the linebacker in front of the corner. Great job by Kurak to go up and grab it and get the first down. Great start.
Put up high a little bit. Kurak had to climb the ladder and still reach.
Yes, but if he doesn't put it there, that linebacker sits right there. That was really tight coverage he had to throw that into. Nice throw. Very nice throw.
Kurak comes down, able to pick up a little bit extra. Ball spotted here about the 32-yard line. Maybe the 32 and a half. Snap, give Childers. Childers with a crease to the inside, and he works his way to the 25-yard line before he's stacked up. Childers was still on his feet. The refs had to come in and blow it dead.
Childers on the rush.
That's a
Number 5,
short little gain. Childers done really good work this season in between the tackles and getting to that second level. It brings a little bit more power than the other backs, but as you can see, they've got both Childers and bats out there, which has not been uncommon this year.
Childers in the backfield, bats lined up in the slot with Davis split out there. They're actually going to stack them one on top of the other and then bring bats in motion. Latham, snap, drops back, looks, steps up, in trouble, able to get away from one, not two, as he's chased down, and down he goes.
protection wasn't too bad. They did allow a little bit of pressure coming in from Latham's right, but more of a covered sack. Once things kind of broke down, and he just tried to do the best he could, try to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but ended up losing 3 yards, going to bring up a 3rd and 11.
Bird and Childers will come off the field now for Austin High. Davis and Collins still in there. Jaden Vasquez comes in as well. You're going to have to hurry. I don't know if they're going to have to burn timeout, and they will. Play clock was running down. Took a little bit too long. Running players in and out, and then getting the play call in there to Latham just took a little bit too much time. Well, big 3rd down to consider here. 3rd and 11, 9:16 to go. Austin High gets the ball back on a Will Peeler fumble recovery.
Well, and they're in that part of the field. They're at the 28. They got 3rd and 11 from the 28. So you kind of figure it's almost 4-down territory here. I mean,
you're not quite in field goal range.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, it kind of feels like 4-down territory, I guess, unless you can get into a comfortable range for Peterson.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get like 6-7 yards and make it a bit more manageable, and get into that 40-yard range perhaps. But of course, if they do that, then Coach Riley may be inclined to say, "Look, we got 4th and 3.
Right, exactly. So
take a chance and try to."
It would be an interesting decision for Riley at that point. Still, Collins and Vasquez are in, stack up here in the slot. Davis is spread out wide to the left, Kirak to the right. Latham gonna tuck it. Latham's got room to run down the left side. Here goes John Latham. Latham forced out of bounds at about the 11-yard line, but it's a big 3rd down conversion for John Latham.
Well, that was pretty easy. They had Bowie spread out. I noticed pre-snap that there weren't a lot of guys stacked in the box. Looked like it was a man coverage, and once those defenders turn around, there was a lot of room from the get-go.
Well, and a lot of it, I was going to say, a lot of it is afforded. It's only a 3-man rush.
Yeah, they did not rush me. They had probably maybe 5 or 6 pre-snap in the box, so they were pretty spread out. You can see that. That wasn't a design play by Latham, but things opened up rather quickly to give them that 1st down.
Kirak is in the slot here to the left. Receiver coming in motion was Vasquez. Bats jump cut, trying to spin his way forward, and he will get it inside the 10. They'll spot him at about the 9. And they marked, it looks like they marked Latham out back at the 12. So gain of about 3, maybe 4.
No, they did give him to the 8.
Yes, they gave him to the 8 there. So gain of 4. Out comes Vasquez and Collins. Looks like in comes Childers and Bird. In their stead, Bird set up as a tight end. Bat's going to get split out into the slot to the right. Kirak, that single receiver to that side. Single receiver to the left is Davis. Bat's in motion. Little pitch to him. Just a simple little touch pass. Credit Bowie's defense, they're ready for it. And that'll be a loss. Significant loss. Backs him up to the 14.
That loss of about 6 on that one. Bowie really with good pressure had that read. If he drops it, it would have been an incompletion, but big 3rd down here.
3rd and 13 for the Maroons.
Just inside the 8-minute mark. Still scoreless here, but the Maroons knocking on the door. Will come out of the gun. Latham, rusher in his face, steps up, finds Davis, and Logan Davis will convert down to the 1.
They gave it to him. I was waiting for that official to slide about 1 foot more over to give him that 1st down, and he did. So it's going to bring up 1st and goal from the 1. Great throw.
Another high throw that Davis is able to climb the ladder and come down with it. Down to the 1. They'll come out in their jumbo package. Bird and Watley, the 2 fullbacks, a give to Childers, and Childers barrels his way in, and the Maroons are on the board first.
Well, they took advantage of that early turnover, so they draw first blood, so to speak, and it's great to see Austin High do that, because they've had to battle from behind a lot from the get-go, but they're the ones that land the first haymaker. That's a big first touchdown drive for the Maroons.
James Peterson comes out to tack on the extra point. nearly blocked, but he's able to put it through. Has not yet missed one all season. Remains perfect here tonight.
Going back to going back to that first down throw on that third long by Latham. He did a really good job. He had an unblocked blitzer coming in. He stood there, pressure, made a nice delivery. Great catch by Davis, but a really good drive by Latham. A couple of great throws, big run for that first down. So that was kind of the John Latham drive there.
Well, and you mentioned that unblocked defender. Latham just slides up to buy him that extra time to deliver that strike. Well done by John Latham. 7:21 to go here in the first quarter, and the Maroons, they're on the board for 7-0 here over the Bowie Bulldogs.
Probably his best scoring drive right there. Was a really good series there for Latham.
Peterson set to kick this one away. I'm waiting for them as they squib this new kickoff formation that they have, as this is return fielded at the 35-yard line. Drew Anderson comes up with a stop at about the 32. I'm waiting for them because that looks like something that we want to see how Bowie responds to it.
Yeah.
Because at some point the onside kick is going to come out of that.
Coming out of that, yeah.
Because it's a bit of an unbalanced swinging set. You have Scott and Anderson kind of tucked behind these three linemen over on this side that they're just going to kind of swing around as Peterson comes up to kick it away, kind of giving them a little bit of momentum coming downfield. Well, here's Tello and company for their second drive of the night, and a pretty good run here, at least early on, as Reese Moreno able to pick up about 9 on the first down carry as he picks his way to the 42. Miles Kim is matched up one-on-one against Owen Ball on the far side. Keep an eye on that matchup. As Tello, snap, play fake, pass, incomplete. Well defended by Khalil Green, and then a flag comes in late. And a little bit of extracurricular there as Will Peeler, the senior, gets Burns out of trouble.
The flag is in the territory. It looks like it's going to be for some sort of unsportsmanlike penalty or unnecessary roughness. I just don't know who they saw first.
The pass was intended, it looked like, for Owen Langdon.
Oh, that's going to go against Bowie.
That's going to go against Bowie.
Yeah, that's a dead ball foul, so it's going to march them 15 yards back and the down, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 16.
Coming out of that set, out comes Ryder Willie, in comes Owen Ball, and Trevor Watts. 6:34 to go, and after the penalty, it is 2nd and long.
Where did they mark? Wait, well, hold on. Something doesn't look right.
Something's trying to sort this out here. So they marked it back to the 26.
Well, they still got the down marker as 2nd.
There you go. They bumped it up to 3rd.
I feel like they went back more than. Maybe
didn't
not.
look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, maybe my eyes are deceiving me a little bit.
Little swing pass out here, all kinds of room to run before Will Peeler came barreling down upon him and comes up with the stop.
It looked like one of those steer wrestlers coming off a horse there to call that running back or the receiver on that, bring up that 4th and long, and Austin High should get the ball back. We got Thomas and
Bats back deep. Now Rowan Wells doubles as a punter. And this one, a spiraling punt out of bounds at the Austin High 30.
Not a bad punt.
So it does a pretty good job, Wells does, in flipping the field. 5:43 to play here in the first as this Austin High offense gets set.
Chance for Austin High to extend that lead defense. Really good start coming out. Of course, aided by that unsportsmanlike penalty. So really Bowie with the mental mistake on the second drive, the physical mistake on the first one with the fumble, and Austin High made them pay on that first drive. Let's see what they can do on the second offensive series of the game.
Pistol set, Latham, give, here's Batts. Bryson Batts slips through a crease. Batts with a little dead leg. Here comes Batts. Batts down the sideline. And Bryson Batts will step out of bounds as he crosses the 45-yard line.
Boy, that was a heck of a ride. He got in between the right tackle and the guard, got to that second level, nice spin, cut back all the way to his left. Latham did a nice job of just kind of getting in the way as a quarterback on that as the flow started going back the other way. And Batts kicked it all the way out to the left side, and big first down run there.
I think the best highlight of that is a little dead leg he gives in the middle of the chaos to just give him that room to come back around. Batts in the slot here to the left. Childers in the deep back. It's Thomas a deep back. They give it to him, and Brandon Thomas will push forward for a yard.
So far, Austin High offense looking crisp.
Looking crisp. Well, in it, Latham is healthy, and Latham really got this offense settled in that Aikens game when Jablon got that start. And all credit to Jablon. He filled in admirably without Latham and Davenport in that game the week prior. Able to come in, doing so again at Aikens. Here's Latham to throw with time. Going to swing it out to Thomas. Thomas corrals it. Thomas with room to run. Brandon Thomas with a cut. Thomas down to the 31-yard line. They'll actually give him the 30 on the fall forward. And that's another Austin High first down.
Well, that was really well set up. Jordan Davis came back through a nice block. Really on the only defender that could try to make that play on Thomas. Once he did that, he had clear sailing until he got up about 15 yards on the play. So again, Maroons offense clicking right now, on the move again.
Thomas will stay in as that single tailback, offset to the right. Receivers are in tight. Latham throwing, trying to get to the corner, and nearly intercepted. Left that one a little short for Batts. Dangerous throw with three defenders there.
Yeah, that was triple coverage on Batts.
Well, it almost kind of looked like the corner that was responsible for the flat almost looked like he was trying to bait him, Latham to making that throw because he was sitting perfectly in between and then peeled off as Latham wound up. I think if he makes that throw to the quick out there, that corner's going to have a hard time making a play on the ball. 2nd and 10, Latham, quick pitch, Thomas with some blocking. Brandon Thomas down to the 25, picks up 5 yards on second down. Sets up a manageable third for this Austin High offense.
Nothing fancy about the play call. Takes a snap, quick pitch to Thomas, and he goes over that right side. Again, sort of in that area where we might see if they don't get it on third down, they may go for it on fourth, as they're kind of at the limits of field goal range right here.
Collins in the slot to the left of Davis. Play fake, little RPO, and Kirak holds on!
Nice catch by Kirak. Ball was a little bit behind him, but Latham put a little bit of heat on it. He did put it low to where only Kirak was going to be able to get it. Kirak is doing what he's done all year long, just come up with really big catches, big first down, keeping the drive going.
Very balanced approach so far tonight for Austin High, airing it out actually a little bit more than I would have thought.
A little bit more to the passing, certainly more than what we were expecting from the outset. But then again, what do we know?
What do we know? Collins set up as a wing here to the left. You got the tight end and Bird. Collins gets sent in motion out of the pistol. Snap, give. Here's Thomas. Thomas with a burst of speed down inside the 5. And it's another Austin High first down.
Boy, that was really good blocking up front. Thomas quickly getting that second level and putting in that higher gear and getting that first down all the way inside the 5-yard line.
The offensive line tonight for Austin High is controlling and dominating the trenches, creating a lot of this running room. Collins gets split out into the slot to the right with Kurak. Davis, single receiver to the left. Play fake. Latham looking for Davis. That RPO again, trying to get on the slant, incomplete. Latham wanted a flag. And the refs keep those in their pockets. So a couple of substitutions now. Collins, Thomas, and Davis come out. Batts comes in, as does Vasquez and Nelson Wright. Batts will be the single back here out of the pistol. Vasquez split out to the left, Kurak to the right, time to the right is right. Snap, give, Batts bouncing outside to the left, Bryson Batts fighting for the pylon!
I thought he got in.
Waiting for the signal, and there it is! Touchdown Austin High! There's a very late flag back in towards the end zone, and I saw somebody come off without a helmet.
Now we'll see if it was a dead ball because it came in after Batts had already gotten in.
Right.
Regardless, depending on who it's on, but it looked like it would be a dead ball.
The offense is still out there trying to figure out, do we need to be out here? Or Latham's hoping we're done. He's already poised to give the signal that it is a touchdown.
It looks like
it's going to be on Austin. Yeah. Well, face mask against the defense, so call will stand.
They'll get it on the kickoff. They'll get that 15 on the kickoff.
Oh, Austin High. We talked about in the pregame that the key for Austin High, on top of playing a ball control offense, as the extra point is good, Austin High goes up 14-0. But we talked about, too, the key for Austin High, maximizing the drives. Exactly. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Maroons.
I think this is the best the offense has looked relative to the level of competition. Okay, it's a good Bowie team that they're matched up against, and the offense has looked really, really sharp. That's the best back-to-back drives that we've seen, at least I think we've seen all season. Right. Good balance, running and passing, a little bit heavily toward the pass, but Latham has come out slinging it back there, and a lot of good throws, but offensive line dominating up front also.
2:22 to go here in the first quarter. Austin High up 14-0. Like you talked about, probably the best start, not just for the offense, but even you get into the little nitty-gritty a little bit more. Best start of the night of a game for John Latham all season long from a passing attack.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree. He has looked really sharp tonight. He pretty much has made all the throws. He had kind of got away with one a little bit on that triple coverage to Batts, but other than that, he's looked really good. In command, made that big first down conversion with his legs on that opening touchdown drive. So, very nice game for Latham on the senior night.
I would watch Austin High here because with a penalty, they're kicking this from the Bowie 45. We'll see if they try. Then they won't. They'll kick this deep, and it'll go through the back of the end zone for a touchback. I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if Coach Riley was absurdly aggressive in trying to pull away with something here for Austin High. Ultimately, they don't. They play it conservative. So, defensively now, the Maroons have had 2 opportunities, and they've come away with 2 different stops. One, a turnover that Will Peeler was able to come up with, and then another that they just force him into a punting situation, in part by Bowie's own hand with the penalty kind of killed the drive.
But again, this is a game where you've got to be able to take advantage of breaks, and that's what the Maroons have done.
Right.
2 for 2 on it.
Receiver coming in motion. Here's a give to Moreno. Reese Moreno trying to get outside. Peeler stands him up. And will hold him to a gain of 1, maybe 2 on first down.
Taken out by Will Peeler.
Give him the 2 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8. 1:58 to go here in the first.
Tight formation there by Bowie.
Play fake, in trouble. Nelson and Zapata flush him out. And Tello just tries to put this into the front row here in House Park. And whistles blown as Reese Moreno.
Nice coverage there on the back end by the Austin secondary. Bowie was trying to set up a little bit of action, a little bit of deception, but Maroons were not fooled on it. Their defenders were dropping deep, so the deep throws were covered. That kind of broke the play down for Bowie, and pressure took care of the rest, forced the throw out of bounds by Tello, so bring up a 3rd and about 8.
Well, Nelson and Zapata really cave in the left side of that line, and Tello, because of the flow of play, because it looked like it was all coming to the Austin High sideline, Tello tries to get out of the back door and escape to that play side so that he has somewhere to go with the ball and, avoids an intentional grounding penalty. Not only does he get out of the pocket, but you have a receiver in the area, and he's able to get rid of it. It's a late substitution here for Austin High. Out comes Andrew Nelson for a break. In comes Jackson Taylor. Brings up a big 3rd and 8. Moreno gets motioned out of the backfield. Here's Tello. Tello wants it all. He's got a man. It is caught. Miles Kim got beat. Kim is looking around. He thought he had safety help. Nobody was there. And Owen Ball gets free for a big conversion for Bowie.
Kim was beat, but I got to believe there had to have been some sort of blown coverage. There was absolutely no deep help in the center of that field, and that's just something you don't really see on post.
Bowie smelling blood in the water, and they're trying to go up tempo here, give to the inside. And it is Khalil Green shaken up this time. So we're going to take this opportunity. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Vibe Central Texas High School Football Game of the Week on 102.7 FM, ESPN Austin. Welcome back in to House Park. Khalil Green able to limp his way off the field. 1:15 to go here in the first quarter and counting. Snap, play fake, and a quick throw outside the ball, trying to take Kim for a ride. Kim holding on. A little bit of wrestling there with it. You saw Ball try to look like throw him off of him, and Kim just held on, went for the ride, and once Ball threw him down, Kim reached back, tried to rip him down.
Well, after all that, it ends up being a first down, so Bowie in red zone territory now.
1st and 10 from the 14. Here's Tello. Snap. Little QB keep. He's got room off the left side. Tello gets tripped up. Down inside the 5 and not quite into the end zone. They'll mark him at the 2.
They got to snap this before the quarter ends.
Yeah, they don't. The play clock is at 15, game clock at 20, so they do have to run at least this one play, assuming they can't punch it in. They're taking their time with it. 4 ticks on the play clock.
They're not going to be able to get it.
They're not going to get it. They're going to have to take time out.
Yeah.
They'll be 1st and goal from the 2. 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. And I got to think if you're Bowie, you're kind of kicking yourself for having to burn that time out, because you're giving this Austin High defense a chance to regroup, catch their breath a little bit after they've been rocked back on their heels, and now an opportunity to defend, 6 feet here of grass and try and keep them out of the end zone.
And you've got to burn a timeout with 5 seconds left in the quarter. So I don't know. Maybe there was maybe they had their clock messed up and they thought that they could. They
did have to, maybe thinking they didn't have to snap it.
There was a lot of confusion on there and a lot of hand waving. Like,
right.
Hey, what's
well, when you had the players on the field looking at the sideline, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Kim matched up one-on-one down here against Ball. See if they go to that at all. They're set up a little bit of a power set here offensively. Quarterback keeps, stood up, nowhere to go. He's driven backwards. Blowing it up was Lawson Stoos.
Blow it up indeed. He just beat his man and was there to just square up on Tello for a loss. Heck of a play there, lost him too. That's big, so we'll start the second quarter and then, back at the 4 now as opposed to trying to defend 6 feet. Now you got 12 feet to defend.
So just like that, at the end of 1, Austin High out in front, 14-0. 2nd and goal coming out for the Bowie Bulldogs. You're watching the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network, or you're listening and watching on ESPN Austin 102.7 FM on ESPN Austin's football game of the week. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Start of the second quarter. Quarterback keeper didn't look like he meant to. Lunging forward. Tello's got it. Touchdown, Bowie.
Just took it off the right side. Got good solid blocking and just kind of put his head down and
Well,
his way forward.
And it looked like he didn't mean to. Like, you had a receiver coming in motion on a jet sweep.
Yeah.
It almost looked like Tello meant for it to go to him, and he either didn't extend far enough because he pulled back like, I still have ball. So he tucks it, runs off that right tackle, and give him credit, able to fall forward. So Austin High able to jump out to that 14-0 start, but the Bowie Bulldogs, they've come battling back.
Yeah, so now we're kind of back in the ball game, and Maroons defensively good on their first two possessions. Look like they might be able to get a turnover on down. Now on down, they get the ball back on the punt, but they gave up that long post pattern. And then Bowie took advantage after that and continued the march into the end zone. Chance for the Maroon offense, which is clicking on all cylinders in that first quarter. Chance for them to kind of get that lead back up to 2 touchdowns. Chance to see Batts or Thomas return a kick here.
Thomas and Batts will be the 2 deep, as they often are. Here come the Bulldogs set to kick this one away. 11:55 rather here in the second quarter. And a little bit of a short kick to Price Deering instead. And Deering with a decent return here. Able to fight his way out to about the 38-yard line.
It's going to be a late flag on the other side of the field where absolutely nobody is standing. I'm not sure if that was maybe they saw a hold or a block in the back, but literally nobody is on that half of the field where the flag is.
A furthest possible spot away. Like you said, clear other side. And it looks like they're getting a spot here to be able to mark it off. So it looks like this would be... Okay. The line judge on the far side looked ready to go against Austin High. Now they're going to go against Bowie. Okay.
What was the penalty?
I did not see an indication. Clearly our public address announcer did not either.
Okay, he put his... was it some sort of sideline one? Because he put his hands behind his back, and then he stepped off 15. Now, the preliminary indication, it looked like perhaps some sort of sideline warning, but was that their second one already?
I guess. Batts in trouble. Here's Bryson Batts. Look at Bryson Batts go! First down, Austin High, but Bryson Batts was corralled. Nowhere to run, and he found a sliver of daylight. Had to jump over somebody he had already stiff-armed into the ground, and is able to escape and pick up the first down out to the Bowie 33.
That was quite a spectacular 12-yard run. I think he had about 6 or 7 different defenders that had a shot to tackle him before they finally corralled him.
Snap, give, Batts picks his way forward, and he's got it across the 30 down to the 29, pickup of 4.
Well, we've seen 2 different Batts. We've seen the elusive, hard to tackle, and we just saw a young man get his head down and just pull his way forward with power for 4 yards. So, but boy, what a great run on that first down.
We've seen it all.
I mean, I thought they had him in a phone booth. I'm not quite sure how they missed him.
Snap, give, here's Batts. Batts finds a crease. There goes Bryson Batts! Touchdown, Austin High!
No flag.
Bryson Batts!
Just a really nice job. Kind of a little bit of a misdirection. Started left, came right. Nice hole on that right side of the line. And he took it the distance.
His second touchdown of the night. And Austin High pushes this back out to a 2-possession game. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. 14-point lead again for the Maroons.
Really nice answer. Very, very nice answer. So, we talked about before the game, you got to play a clean game, keep down the middle mistakes. Well, so far, Bowie has made 3 big ones. I mean, that 15-yard penalty, whatever it was, Austin High was going to start out with good position anyway at about the 40, but then that 15 yards, they started at the 45, and then 3 batch runs later, they're in the end zone. So far, Austin High has played, I don't want to say a flawless game.
Well, it hasn't been.
At least offensively they have.
Defensively,
they just gave up that one play, but they've played a lot cleaner game so far than Bowie.
We'll pull up Batz's numbers on the season here in just a minute and that next time around, and just kind of give you perspective of just how big of a part of this offense that he is. We'll kind of break down your rushing and receiving numbers, because right now, first, this Bowie defense is getting set to try and cut into this again. 10:31 to go here in the first half, and Bowie. We talked about this being a cage match when right now Austin High has landed a couple big haymakers that has rocked Bowie back on their heels. This one, high kick, and it'll bounce out of bounds for the illegal procedure call. Owen Ball thought about it, decided not to pick it up. So the Bulldogs of Bowie will start at their own 30. Here comes Cruz Tello and company. Tello, snap. Quick pass on the RPO. They're rolling it incomplete, and wisely so, because Drew Anderson was on top of it. Bowie fortunate to get away with one. Rowan Wells was the intended receiver. It was just a simple RPO screen, the quick throw out here to try and get Wells with the open lane, and Wells could not hold on.
Well, defended also well there by the Maroons, kind of forced that drop.
2 backs in the backfield here for Tello. Snap, keeper, Cruz Tello cuts it back, trying to run over Blake Bridges, but Bridges will ultimately chop him down.
Nice job there by Tello. He really rode that ball into that running back as long as he could, and then pulled it at the last second. Austin High defense are pretty much committed to the running back and left Tello with a lot of initial running room. Got to that second level easy, and going to bring up a very manageable 3rd and 2.
Bridges coming in tonight, 12 and a half tackles and a pass breakup. It's Bridges and Deering without Khalil Green out there, and Anderson filling in for him as well. Snap, keeper again. Tello gets stood up, and they just able to back his way across for the first down to the 41-yard line.
Good effort there by Tello. I thought the Maroon defense were going to have him stopped a little bit short, about a yard short, but he just kind of kept driving, like you said, kind of spun out and was able to fall forward. He fell backward. It happened to be forward.
In came Owen Langdon for Carson Ledford. And another quarterback keeper for Tello. Tello gets dragged down at the 44. And so right now, Cruz Tello having to do a lot of the legwork for this Bowie offense.
Heavy on the keepers on that zone read this drive.
2nd and 7 on the 44 for the Bulldogs.
Receiver coming to motion is Ball. He'll come from left all the way to right and set up in the slot to that side. And whistle comes in, flags thrown, false start. Early movement, going to back up Bowie a little bit further, and it'll bring up a long 2nd down. Well, this crowd has really filled in here tonight for both sides. Packed house across the board on the Austin High side of things. Bowie, not a lot of space to sit over there either.
Yeah, Bowie came with it, and I realized there's just a little bit of a drive down the Mopac, but they came out tonight. Most crowded house park that we've seen.
Quick throw on the screen to Reese Moreno, and he's got nowhere to go. The Maroon defense swarms him, and it will be a loss of 1. 3rd down.
Nice job of the Maroons to sniff that play out.
Out comes David Zapata for the Austin High defense. In comes James Scott. So they sub out a defensive lineman, bring out another defensive back.
Yeah, going to nickel.
A lot of communication across them. 3rd and 13, inside 8 minutes ago. Maroons lead 21-7. Tello launching one down the left side, and it is. It looks like they've got it signaled to catch. Flags were thrown.
I think we're going to get a
But
PI.
who came up with it?
I think we're going to get a PI on
Bridges.
Yeah. That flag was coming out. A little bit of a hand fight in there. I don't think he necessarily needed to interfere at that point. He had pretty good position on it. He may have just lost sight of where the ball was, and they are going to give the catch to Bowie, which is big because instead of a 15-yard first down, it becomes a 35-yard catch.
30 plus.
30 plus.
And that penalty is declined by Bowie.
Sergeant Ted Bowie on the 25.
Ends up being about a 40-yard gain.
Big completion there for Bowie right when they needed it the most. 7:34 to go here in the first half. Austin High leads 21-7. Tello out of the gun with Moreno to his right. Tello looking, lofting one, wants the end zone, incomplete. Deering was trailing in coverage. He was beat, but they were unable to hook up. Looked like it was in the direction of Owen Langford.
He did a nice job of closing ground on that ball. He just wasn't quite able to get both hands on it well enough to secure it. I thought Tello had really overthrown him, but turns out it was a lot closer than what it looked initially.
Receiver coming in motions. Ryder Willie. He'll set up in the backfield as a fullback. Play fake. Pass from Tello. Incomplete. Abraham Ruiz in coverage. Airtight on Rowan Wells. And Zapata will get subbed out again for James Scott. Again on 3rd down. They run off the extra D lineman to bring out an extra defensive back.
We haven't seen that quite as much as on the season for Westlake, where they go so decidedly to a nickel look.
Tello out of the gun, trips to his right. Moreno in the backfield, offset to him. Kieran Campbell is the 3rd receiver to that side, and Bowie will take a timeout on a big 3rd and 10. 7:17 remaining here in the first half on a big night It's an extra playoff game for both teams. There's no other way to slice it. Winning in, lose, and you stay home.
Yep.
Yep. With performances by the Austin High Band and the Red Jackets.
Big third down we'll have coming up. You know, you got to think a couple of things. Bowie and not quite sure what their kicking game is like, but you know, right now if they don't get a yard, they're talking about a 42, 43-yard field goal in a game in which they're trailing by 14. So they might be inclined, if they get a decent pickup, probably go for it on fourth down. The decision will be if they're forced into a fourth and long.
Right.
Austin High will keep their nickel personnel out there.
Big third down, 3rd and 10. This Austin High faithful getting to their feet. Empty backfield right now for Cruz. Tello, snap, keeps, in trouble, down he goes! Stopped in the backfield, it's a loss of 2.
Very well played. That's a call you make design quarterback draw where they're just trying to chip away at that 3rd and long to make it a 4th and manageable. Turns out they lost a yard or 2 on it. A great play there by the Austin the Room defense. Bowie going to be forced now and really into a 4th and 12. They're definitely in no man's land. Be a really long field goal, and they're not going to punt it here at the 27-yard line.
Gonna go for it. 4th and 12. Tello out of the gun. He's in trouble already. Gets away. Able to flip it out to the right. It's Dragnet. And Dragnet is stopped short. Miles Kim was out there in coverage and was able to trip him up to bring him down.
That's a big play by Kim. They had pressure, but then he broke contained, Tello did, and he found a receiver there in the flat, and if Kim doesn't slow him down, he might have been able to get that first down. Kim slowed him down. The rest of the Austin High defense came in to clean it up for the turnover on down. So big play there by Kim.
Burns was the free rusher on that play, and so out now comes this Austin High offense. Quick throw here from Latham out there to Bryson Batts. We've got on the screen before you right now Batts' season numbers rushing-wise. 72 carries, 603 yards, averaging almost 8.5 yards a carry coming into tonight. And on that last drive, had 3 runs to get them into the end zone. It was his 2nd touchdown of the night. Puts him at 9 on the season rushing-wise. And there they go to him on the quick screen. Give here again. There goes Bryson Batts. Batts took a hard hit out across to the 23-yard line.
Was able to pick up about 6 or 7 yards after that loss of 4 on first down. So bring up a 3rd and 8. Nice job of just kind of picking his way and getting what he could. Actually, about a 3rd and 7.
Hey, give him an extra yard there on top of it. 5:42 to go. Austin High leading 21-7. And Coach Riley will take a timeout. It looked a little bit odd because you had 2 tight ends out there. You had Bird and Nelson Wright, and Bird got split out a little bit more. Like he should have been a stand-up receiver, and then he gets down a 3-point stance. So you have a gap between him and the left tackle that's sizable. And Coach Riley got one look at, didn't like the way it looked, called timeout to get them back under control.
We talked about it. We discussed it a little bit off the air. We noticed Austin High's made a little bit of some personnel tweaks along that offensive line.
Right.
They've looked outstanding so far, and we didn't notice it initially off the bat. You just kind of
You're so used to seeing them. Yeah.
You're so used to it, but they've had some. It looks like they've shifted some personnel around. Moving their center, Pozo's longtime center, out to right guard, actually. And
so you mentioned that Alonzo Garcia is set up at the left guard. Pozos, like you said, 3-year starter, gets kicked over to right guard. Griffin Shepard gets kicked in to center. And then Jack Bisson, who started the season at right tackle, got moved over to right guard for the Aikens game, gets kicked back out
to right tackle.
And
the offensive line done a really good job.
He wanted a snap, and I think they're going to get that.
I think they'll get it. I think the Bowie defender came across and
jumped, and Latham and everybody kind of pointing, and he was trying to get them to snap and get the free play out of it.
I wonder if he actually touched the center, because the snap ended up coming up late after he had gotten across. So I'm wondering if he had made contact with it. Nonetheless, it's 5 yards, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2, really.
Yeah.
Very favorable for the hard count there by Latham. So now you can kind of do a lot of things here, going from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 2.
Well, they run off the receivers to come back out in their more goal line heavy set, and they go with a quick snap. Childers, I don't think he got there.
No, he did not.
Gets stood up at the line of scrimmage.
He did not.
Bowie well defends those 2 yards.
That was a long way to go for, in my opinion, that was a long way to go for a big power set. But so for the first time tonight, the Maroon offense gets stymied, having to force a punt.
John Latham doubles as a punter, so who knows what trickery can come of that just by default. But he will come on. He will get set to punt this away. Owen Ball deep to return. He's backed up at the 32. Low snap, Latham able to drop kick this. Nice, beautiful high punt, and Ball has to go to his knees to corral it at the 37. They're actually going to spawn back at the 36.
It seemed like a very good spot, but maybe because
I guess because of where his knee went down first.
I thought maybe he hadn't caught the ball.
I thought he caught. I guess they're going to say he caught it at the 36 and then fell forward to the 37. I would have thought he caught it at the 37 and fell forward to like the 38, but what have you?
It's a 1 yard. It's 1 yard.
It's a yard. Well, it'll be 1st and 10 for Bowie from their own 36-yard line. 4:40 to play here in the half. Austin High still leading 21-7. And this Maroon defense up to the challenge again. Snap. Give. Outside to the left, and a flag is thrown.
That was an easy call of a hold on that left offensive tackle.
Reese Moreno got the carry trying to get that edge, and as of now, would have been a 7-yard gain, but like you said, holding call. That flag currently is set a yard off the line of scrimmage.
I'm not sure if the official heard me, but that was an easy call.
Well, fortunately, he did not need any ocular aids, as it were, to see that one. And so sees it, calls it. And another instance, we've been talking about it tonight, that Bowie has this another instance.
Big penalties. Where
the penalties are just coming back and hurting them again. And so this one turns into 1st and 18. Snap, Tello, play fake. Quick pass out into the flats, finds Langdon. Deering can't bring him down. Neither could Ruiz. It's finally John Burns who brings him down. Fans are wanting a flag on the exchange, though, between Trevor Watts and Blake Bridges, and they were still jawing at each other. After they were separated and about 5 yards apart.
The game's got a certain level of chippiness.
Well, and you can see why. There's a lot at stake. We've laid it out. Winner gets a playoff spot. Motion's running high right now, and Austin High, so far, has had theirs more in check as Tello runs into Reese Moreno on the play fake. Moreno falls, and Tello keeps it off the right side, able to get the first down. Might be one of the few instances, though, that I see the quarterback ruin his own play fake.
But nice job by Tello to kind of stick with it and recover and pick up a nice gain. Put Bowie into maroon territory just inside the 50.
Also might be one of the first times I see the running back get knocked over by the quarterback because of it, and not the other way around. 1st and 10 from the Austin High 48-yard line. Receiver coming to motion as well as they'll give it to him on the end around. Wells gets away from Peeler, and it's Peeler and Kim who are able to finally bring him down. Deering was over there as well.
Number 2, Rowan Wells.
But that is a first down again for Bowie.
Yeah. Bowie offense kind of starting to get things working a little bit.
Well, you talk about the one thing, the aspect of it is Bowie trying to get to the edges and utilize their speed against Austin High. Not the fastest defense out there. As a play fake, pass, quick out. Deering able to stack up Wells and bring him down, but again, another first down for Bowie.
A little too soft on the coverage out there. That was just easy 10 and out, and Tello put it on the spot.
Well, and it might be a little bit too, they're running a lot of this play fake, so, you know, and a lot of what that is designed to do is to get your eyes in the backfield, and if you're not reading your keys correctly as a defense and your eyes do drift back there, makes it a little bit easier to lose some of your men as Tello is bottled up. Will Peeler had him in his sights and brings him down for a loss of 4.
Great read there by Peeler. Stu's also getting in there. Make that play. Loss of almost 5.
Really 5. They're going to give him 5. It'll be 2nd and 15. 2:10 to go here in the first half. Austin High leads 21-7.
Big 2 minutes here. Big 2 minutes of the game. I know it's the first half, but
Tello play fake, pumps left, going to take a shot. He's got a man wide open. Owen Langford. Touchdown, Bowie.
Well, they ran a little kind of a pump fake, little double action, and too easy there.
Deering bid on the pump fake, and it caused Deering, he didn't come downhill, but it caused him to freeze.
Yeah, that's all
just long enough.
That is really all it takes. You don't really even have to step in one direction. You just got to get frozen for a half count, and the receiver's got your beat. He's got all the momentum going forward, and it creates so much separation. So,
just like that, with 1:53 left to go here in the first half, the Bowie Bulldogs cut this back to a 7-point game, 21-14. Austin High still leading here over the Bulldogs of Bowie.
A chance for the Maroons. They've got plenty of time. Just inside 2 minutes left. They've got a timeout to work with. They've been able to move the ball on 3 of their 4 drives quite easily. So really no reason why they can't get this thing back and try to tack on a score before. I mentioned it before that touchdown pass. Big 2 minutes here. Bowie has taken advantage. They've scored late. Now can Austin High blunt that and go in with the touchdown and then being able to get the ball to start the second half?
Right.
So we'll see what happens here, but kind of a big early moment in the game.
Dragnet going to kick this one away. He's going to send it deep. Thomas dropped it. Thomas able to pick it up. Brandon Thomas trying to get some blocks. And Thomas gets stood up at about the 22-yard line. And that's where Austin High will take over. Disaster avoided there with 1:39 to go here in the half.
One thing I've noticed about Thomas all year, and I know individual players kind of do their own individual things, but he catches the ball on kickoffs with his hands up. as opposed to letting it settle in like you traditionally see. I think that's a harder way to make that catch. There's been a time or two where he has let it get on the ground, but again, no disaster. Still decent field position, not quite the 25, but plenty of time. You got a buck 40 left, buck 39. So let's see what the Maroon offense can do.
Out of the gun, Latham. Going to bring bats in motion. He's going to roll left, comes back. Rolls right, comes back left. Pass is caught. It's Logan Davis. Davis makes one-man miss. Davis finally dragged down at the 41.
That was a design roll and then a roll back. That was not a big scramble by Latham. You can see the flow. They got the Bowie defense flowing to its left, but then Latham then reversed out and went the other way. He had Davis really with a lot of real estate out there in a one-on-one situation.
Latham to throw, has time, gonna loft this one up the seam. He's got Rex Collins. Collins with a first down out to the Bowie 26-yard line. And Austin High is rolling right now.
Really good throw, back-to-back throws really by Latham, who in many ways, even other than bats, has really been a dominant offensive performer in this first half.
Snap, here he goes again to throw. Has time, gonna loft this one up the seam for Betts. Betts has got it! Touchdown, Austin High!
Wow. That's how you do it.
Like clockwork.
And 3 plays in about
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Well, now the problem is, now Bowie's got to be.
Well, I mean.
But whatever, you got to come back, and that's what they've done.
What an answer by John Latham in this offense. And Latham, one of the criticisms that we've had has been, that deep ball, he seems to get to it late, and he doesn't just quite have that arm. Well, Latham now tonight has been on point.
Yeah.
Perfect every time on those deep balls, catching receivers in stride each and every time when he's taken that shot. First bats, Collins, and just like that, and that drive, by the way, 3 different receivers, Davis to Collins to bats, and the Maroons push this back out to 14.
I mean, as a senior quarterback, you couldn't really dream up a better effort on senior night in the first half. We've seen some glimpses of Latham, particularly early in the year when he would look good, but then he went through some mediocre play, up and down play. But these first 2 quarters, he has just been outstanding. And that drive just summed it up again, starting with that really beautiful roll and then design roll back the other way and making the throw against his body out to Davis to set up get that first down, and then a great throw down the post for another big gain, and then finished it off with one to bats. Just dropped it in there.
Peterson, the good kick here, end over end, fielded at the 20. And Owen Ball's got room. Ball down the sideline. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 45.
Like James Scott took him out over there.
Scott and the kicker.
Scott delivered the blow. I think the kicker just kind of helped
push.
Yeah. But so now they've got just under a minute to work with here. Certainly we know that they can move the ball quickly, so it's been quite a frenetic last 90 seconds to this point.
That return burned off nearly 10 seconds of game clock. 56 seconds. Now Bowie does have a timeout left. Also High still up 28-14. Snap, Tello throwing on the run. Oh, throw, and Owen Ball has got the grab. Quick pickup of about 3, maybe 4.
They're not gonna burn a timeout. I think obviously they were looking for him to be able to get out of bounds. The throw was a little bit low. Looks like he may have stumbled on the catch. He fell down inbounds in making the catch.
Snap, Tello, pump, throw is it. Caught.
They gave it to him. Okay.
I wasn't sure if that foot came down. They get it to Langdon on this left side. It was a bit high, and Langdon able to get a foot down.
Yeah, nice job of being able to get it down. So
That's first down for Bowie.
that'll stop the clock. 28 seconds left to go here in the half. Austin High still leading 28-14. Tello looking, steps up, clean pocket, wants it all, incomplete. That is not because Abraham Ruiz had good coverage. He actually got beat, but Kieran Campbell trying to focus on where he's at in the end zone and trying to make the catch, just a little bit too much on his mind to pull it in, and he dropped 6.
because the ball was there, it would have been a really good catch, but I mean, it's a catch that you're looking to make. I mean, that's where it's got to be, back of the end zone. Nice throw by Tello. Receiver just couldn't haul it in. So 21 ticks left here. What has been quite a first half, quite a finish to what has already been an outstanding first half of football.
21 seconds of counting. Tello gonna loft this one down the right side. Wow, and it's gonna be a pass interference call on Miles Kim.
Flag on the play.
I don't know that the ball would have been necessarily catchable. Now,
But you never see that call.
you know, that they're gonna argue though that the ball, because it's in the air, and
But he would have been out of
he
bounds.
essentially, I mean,
Maybe.
receivers trying to fight back to the ball because it was a little bit underthrown, kind of more like a comeback route, and I guess there's more bridges in coverage, but he kind of runs over the receiver because he doesn't get his head around. He's kind of running with him, and they just collide.
Well, so we got 14 seconds left. It looks like Austin High is going to burn their last timeout. Probably a smart thing to do. You've got it. There's no sense in taking it into the locker room with you. Get your defense over, discuss it, make sure everyone's on the same page. You probably have to defend 2 throws at this point. 14 seconds left. Bowie with 1 timeout left, so they might be able to squeeze in a third one. I don't know, but good timeout there by the Austin High staff. Look, let's talk about it. Where do we need to be? Let's make sure we're all on the same page. Let's not have a blown coverage. We saw that happen on the previous touchdown pass. So,
well, and Austin High now especially becomes, after the penalty and you give up really the extra yardage now, you want to make sure that everybody's kind of in the same. You're trying to calm everybody down a little bit from that penalty and make sure everybody's head is screwed on straight. Now, to your point, you're going to have to defend 2 throws. The caveat to it is for Bowie, because of where this is at about the 13-yard line, the passing windows down here now become a lot tighter because there's less field for this Austin secondary to have to defend.
Austin High back out in their nickel look here.
Scott, Bridges, and Deering are the safeties. Bridges in the center field. Tello looking, dancing, in trouble, finally throws it away.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, he blew a lot of time there.
Yeah, tick off about 9 seconds.
So really, this more than likely going to be the last play. I mean, they do have a timeout left, but you got 5 seconds. By the time the quarterback gets the snap, clock goes. I mean,
you almost have to essentially tell Tello, just put it in the end zone and hope somebody's there.
I mean,
because if it falls and, maybe you can have time to kick a field goal, that's about all you really have time for right now. And
by the time the play develops, the ball inbound, you're going to get down and get a timeout.
Well, they're going to take that timeout right now and talk about this. This is as big of a decision that Bowie has had to make all night. From a play calling stance. 5 seconds ago here in the half, Austin High up 28-14. And Bowie is knocking on the door.
So about 2.5 minutes ago, we said it was a big 2.5 minutes. Now it's a big 5 seconds. It's been a really great first half of football, and it's come down to these last 5 seconds of this first half, which could be a bit of a not a turning point, but a big deciding point for the second half.
Well, keep in mind, too, Austin High will get the ball to start in that third quarter. But like you said, it's been a big 2.5 minutes, but this play, and it looks like they're going to set up to try and kick this.
Okay, they're going to try to take 3.
This becomes as big of a 5 seconds as anything. If you're Austin High, you have to be thinking, watch for a fake. This crowd is on its feet. They send Peeler back as like a spy. Snap, hold, kick is up.
He got it.
And it is good.
Okay.
So we will go in to the half, 28-17. Austin High leads. Wow.
Great first half. Outstanding first half.
Well, we talked about coming into tonight, this game is as big as any that either team has played this season. Playoff berth on the line.
Yeah.
Both teams have it at stake. And coming into this tonight, this has lived up to the billing in every capacity so far through, 24 minutes of play.
And, we talked about before the game, Austin High, initially when you think they get a late bye week, well, what good does it do? But it turns out it was very fortunate.
Right.
Clearly, Latham is back closer to full health. I mean, at this point, really, who is 100%?
Right.
He has looked completely dialed in. They've made some personnel shifts on the offensive line, and the offensive line has been a strength in this first half. The defense has looked really good. They've shown a few new wrinkles on offense. So kudos to the Austin High staff, Coach Riley's staff. They did a lot of work in that off week. We're seeing a very fine-tuned Austin High Maroon team here on senior night.
Yeah, I mean, this is as good of a start that they've had. We talked about it. They were up 14-0 out of the gate. As great of a start as Austin High has had all season, and now we talk about, it was a big 2.5 minutes and then turned into a big 5 seconds, and now you pivot. Now it's time for the second half of play. What adjustments do you make?
Yeah.
I think the one thing that Austin High is concerned about is two things. So far right now, Bowie has had a lot of success attacking the perimeter with the speed that they have offensively. The jet sweeps. Tello has had a lot of free reign to move on the ground game as well. And then that really kind of started to get balled up there kind of towards the end of that first half. The other part of the problem, though, is the back end of this Austin High defense. If there's a weakness to be had and exploited, that if you're Austin High, you got to feel a little concerned about, it's the secondary has been really getting shredded, especially down the field by this Bowie offense.
Now, on the flip side, what you can take some solace and a lot of comfort in, as any coach would, is you're winning on your side of the ball on the offensive line.
Well, and really a case could be made, you're winning in the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. Tello has just done a good job of navigating that. But you've been able to create a lot of pressure on Cruz Tello throughout that first half. It's just unfortunate from an Austin High perspective that the shots he's been able to take, he's hit most of them, for the most part. Now, a couple of that, you've had a couple of blown coverages, you've had a couple of problems in the secondary. We'll see how Austin High navigates that. Do you maybe change it up and put a cornerback there and not a safety? We'll see what they do, because, you got to think that, Scott Bridges and Deering, as good as they are, Scott may be more of a heavy hitter type safety than a coverage safety. I don't know. We'll see what Coach Riley and company try to do. But as of right now, you talk about taking solace in your offensive line having success, the defensive line having success. The other thing you can take solace in, you have an 11-point lead and you get the ball back.
I think another part of the message that the staff will impart to the team is, look, keep playing hard, keep playing smart. Okay, it's gotten you an 11-point lead in the first half. So let's just kind of keep leaning on Bowie. Let's not give them anything. Okay, let's continue to do what we do. Yes, they'll make some adjustments here or there, but they've got a lot of really good things working, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, that Bowie really has not had any answers for.
No, they haven't. And part of it has been they've broken tendency really here tonight.
They have.
There's been a lot of running game coming into tonight. Well, what has Austin High come out and done? They've come out slinging it all over the lot with John Latham.
Exactly.
Taking shots downfield over the middle, and Latham's credit, he's been on point here tonight for this Austin High team.
Well, I imagine we'll get a look at his stats at halftime, but just a phenomenal first half by the senior, and you got to be so happy for him and the whole team and how they played in that first half. So it's there for them. They got 11. They spotted an 11-point lead going into the second half. So if they can just kind of keep leaning on Bowie, that playoff clinching win is right there in front of them. It is right there. It's 24 minutes closer, and they're 11 points closer than what they were about an hour and a half ago.
So that'll do it at halftime here. Austin High 28-17 lead over Bowie at the half. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the Austin High Marching Band. They'll take their spot. Currently on the field right now is the Bowie Marching Band, as Austin High will get set for the start of the third quarter. When we come back, it's the Austin High Maroons and the Red Jackets taking the field.
superstitions that we do as a fan.
Now for your halftime enjoyment, the award-winning Austin High Red Jackets. The Red Jackets are under the direction of Stephanie Brand-Wright and are led on the field by Captain Myra Harris and First Lieutenant Kennedy Moore. President is Nella Harvey. Vice President, Brooklyn Williams. Social officers are Scarlett Alanis Hernandez and Ellie Burrow. The Spirit Girl of the Week is Peyton Haas. And the Red Jacket of the Week is Brooklyn Reeves. Tonight, the Red Jackets will be performing a jazz routine to Starships by Nicki Minaj. Ladies and gentlemen, your Austin High Red Jackets. Featured soloists are Cam Larry on soprano sax, Lee Worsham on alto, Hudson Hall on tenor, Joaquin Torres on barry, Aiden Correa on flute, Jack Abear on flugelhorn, Thomas Bryant on tuba. To the Bowie Band, good luck on your UIL season. To our sponsor, Healing Foundation's Physical Therapy, thank you for your continued support. To our parent volunteers, especially those helping us tomorrow at UIL Marching Contest, thank you. And to Martha, you are a high-flying mouse. Ladies and gentlemen, the Austin High Band.
Check in on it soon after you told us about it. The deal is. Yeah. Excited? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Fantastic. Bringing in nickel guys.
Welcome back to House Park. Here in the broadcast booth, getting set up for the start of the third quarter. David Roy, Paul Longoria here from the booth. You're watching the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network, or simulcast on the 102.7 FM ESPN Austin as part of ESPN Austin's Game of the Week. And so far tonight, this one has lived up to the billing. Austin High leads 28-17, and the Maroons at first half, excitement from both sides. Bowie got a couple of deep shots in, but that Austin offense was clicking as part of John Latham's best statistical start of the season, completing 80% of his passes in the first half.
A great first half by Latham. Best easily we've seen him all year. 8 of 10, about 108 yards, touchdown, no picks. I don't know what the official passer rating would be, but that's a really good passer rating. You talk about about 13 yards per attempt. So he's pushing the ball downfield, made really outstanding throws.
Over 100 yards through the air for him in that first half. Bryson Batts, he's closing in on 100 yards on the ground. He got about 81 yards on the ground, even combining his rushing and his receiving numbers. Only 15 yards receiving for him. A little bit of a surprising number, but then you add in and you look around, Kurak has gotten heavily involved early. Logan Davis had a catch, 34 yards for him. Receiving-wise, you've got Rex Collins adding in there as well. So through the passing game, it's not just been, it's 110 yards, but most of those are Bats. No, Bats actually has much less receiving yards than guys like Kirak and Davis and Collins, and Latham has done a really good job. This offense has done a really good job spreading the ball around. Coach Mike Silvera, the offensive coordinator for this Austin High offense, he's in his bag tonight, and he has called an extremely excellent first half so far. We'll see what he does here with the second half, what adjustments they make. But I imagine, we talked about it coming in, they're going to run the ball and, keep the ball on the ground. Nope. They haven't so far. We might see them start to transition to that, though, once this game starts to become more of a time game than it does a points.
I think easy to see in the first half that the Austin High coaching staff was quite busy in their off week. It came out very well prepared.
Thomas fields this one cleanly. Brandon Thomas with a good return early and finally dropped at the 29, but a flag comes flying in late here. That got thrown all the way. Give the ref some credit. That's a throw from the 40 all the way back from the Bowie 40 to the Austin High 30. Let's say the 33-yard line.
Probably going to be some
sort of flag
hold or a push in the back.
It looks like they're set to walk this one. Well, they're facing now Bowie. Austin High is marching backwards, though. So there it is, face mask, and it will go against Austin High. We talked about John Latham's numbers so far in that first half.
Kind of gets there and then kind of peek over. You see what I'm saying?
We don't want our camera or our camera operator getting rained on. Ian up here, getting dripped on here a little bit. I guess by the AC unit. Yeah. So here comes the Austin High offense. We talked about John Latham in the passing game throughout early tonight. Well, on the season, you see they're about 45% completion percentage. He's well over 800 yards now on the season after tonight, closing in on 900. And then he's got a touchdown, so that touchdown-interception ratio improving as well through his 7th touchdown pass of the season. Coming in, had 6 and 9 interceptions on the night. That pass goes minimal gain of about 2 off the penalty, which backed Austin High up to their own 14 on the face mask on the kickoff. So here comes Latham out of the gun, trips to the right. Snap, he's going to look. Quick out here for Logan Davis, and he's out to the 21-yard line. Brings up a very manageable third down.
A good throw there, just a quick out to Davis. You can see that coming from the snap. Nice throw by Latham. As you said, gets him to a nice, comfortable 3rd and 3. Still got to convert, but
3rd and 3.
You got a lot you can call in this situation.
And a lot of room to work with, right? So ball on the left hash, you have the field to the right of you offensively, but then you can also attack vertically. Look at all the space you have as Bowie really kind of stacking the box here. 7 in the box, they bring the blitz, and Childers gets through anyways.
That was a really good call. I don't know if that was an audible maybe or a late call, but Bowie looked like they were going to bring some pressure. Crashed the box and just kind of left a little bit of a gap with one good block for Childers to get up to that second level. Big for early first down.
Really big early first down, and so with that run, you get back to about where you would have been if not for the penalty on the kickoff unit. So Childers comes out, in comes Collins and Berg, and Batts moves into the backfield. Off the left hip of Latham. They give it to him. Batts corralled immediately, and he'll pick up a yard.
Bowie defense really squeezing that box. They pretty much have all 11 guys inside the 10 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Well, and you got to think Coach Silvera is going to see that and see if you can bait them into that later and then put one over the top.
Yeah. Run some sort of play action with bats and then just kind of put it over the top of them.
Davis has got that speed you could go to. Kurak also. Davis, a single receiver at the bottom of your screen. Kurak at the top of your screen. Here's Latham. Going to swing it out to Bats. Bats with room. Bats gets a block from Bird. And then Bryson Bats finally gives himself up at the 46-yard line. Patrick Bird with an outstanding block. Got to be a little bit careful with that, with the defender not having his head around. But no flag there for him as he gets the blindside block a little bit, if you will.
I was a little surprised, not because I thought it was a dirty block. It's just we see that flag thrown when that defender is clearly not able to turn his head,
especially with that forcible of a collision.
But brings up a 3rd and 1.
So coming into the backfield here, Bats back there with Bird as a lead blocker, and then Bats will spin his way forward for the first down out to the 39. So here's where I thought it might be a little bit more of a gradual transition. We wouldn't see this really into the 4th quarter. Right now, Austin High, though, coming out of the gate, a commitment again to the running game here on this drive. Yeah, they had a couple early passes, but last few plays, it's been run, run, run.
And they're keeping everything simple right now. They're trying to just kind of chip away a little bit, and
they go back to Bats. Bats trying to reverse field, and he'll end up losing about 10 on first down. Just backing up, this Bowie defense kept chasing him, and Bryson Bats being Bryson Bats saying, no, I can still make something out of this, and he just keeps backpedaling to try and find a crease.
Yeah, big loss there for about 8. Looks like going to really put them behind the chains. What I was saying before that is, they're just kind of chipping away, taking things and just kind of keeping it simple. Easy throws, nothing crazy, but they might have to open up things a little bit here on a 2nd and 18.
Trips to the right. Here's Latham out of the gun. Snap, looking to throw. 4-man rush. Steps up. Latham going to tuck it. Here comes John Latham. Slips one. Latham gives himself up just across the 35-yard line. They'll spot him at the 36, where he gave himself up at, and that'll bring up a long 3rd and 13 for the Maroon offense. 7:01 and counting here in this 3rd quarter of play. Also High chewing up clock here pretty well here in the 3rd quarter.
I was going to say, regardless of what happens here on this 3rd down outside of a penalty, it's been a pretty successful drive in that they've taken a lot of time off this 3rd quarter.
Especially given where they started this drive back inside their own 15. Latham, pass, incomplete. And no flags thrown. Looks like he wanted Davis to break back out, and the fans are wanting that flag because it looked like Davis started to, and the defender threw up the mailbox to, keep him away.
Probably a good no call there. A little bit of I don't know if it's miscommunication or what, but so to bring him 4th down, but as we alluded to right before that snap, you got 6:35 left in the 3rd quarter. They burned almost 1/2 of the 3rd quarter, which is not really a little deal.
No, when we talk about 11-point games, so it's still a 2-possession game as Latham gets a beauty of a punt. This hits at the 20, and it'll take an Austin High bounce inside the Bowie 10.
Big punt there by Latham. Well, he's just doing it all today.
My goodness.
Great punt.
Beautiful punt for Austin High. This will put Bowie back at their own 8.
Big punt.
92 yards of pay dirt, 2-possession game, and right now 6:25 to go here in the 3rd. Austin High still leading 28-17 over the Bowie Bulldogs. Winner clinches a playoff spot. Here comes this Austin High defense. Cruz Tello out of the gun. Moreno to his left. And Tello keeps able to get through the first wave and then gets chopped down at the 16-yard line. He'll pick up 8 on first down.
Good first down run there by Tello. He does a really good job of riding out on that zone read, pulling it last minute after that defense is kind of committed. Gives them a little bit of a little larger window to run through.
He's able to find that grease off that left side, and Tello, who's been pretty effective in the running game so far tonight, able to get a modest gain of 8. Tello in the gun. He'll move Moreno from the right to the left. They'll give it to Moreno. Reese Moreno bounce outside to the left. Still being kept laterally as Price Deering finally runs him out of bounds. And there's a late flag that'll most likely go against Austin High for...
I don't know
if it's going to be unsportsmanlike or they're going to flag some kind of a late hit.
I think it'll be perhaps unnecessary roughness. I don't really agree with that. They were both on their feet, battling, going out of bounds. You have a little bit of a natural momentum going. There's not a really big sideline here at House Park. The running back never got thrown to the ground, never fell on the ground.
And he ran into the fence, but that's more just the momentum carried them both into it.
I don't agree with that. I think that's a bad call. I understand there's a safety issue, but again, they were both tied up, both carrying their momentum onto a rather short sideline. But it's a free 15 yards added to that first down gain, or the gain for the first down.
I'll spot it here at the 33. Play fake. Here's a shot from Tello down the field. Incomplete. Abraham Ruiz looked like he lost it initially, and the receiver kind of gave him a push to get him clear, and then the ball bounced off the receiver's helmet.
I do think Ruiz did a pretty nice job of not panicking. He did, it perhaps looked like he did lose sight of it, but it seemed like he picked it back up late, but he didn't get in a panic mode, tried to grab the receiver.
He just stayed in the way long enough to disrupt it. Brings up 2nd and 10. Here's Tello, play fake, swing out here to Langford. Langford trying to get outside, and the Austin High faithful wants that flag. They saw what you did. Owen Ball grabbed Ruiz as Ruiz tried to spin outside, and no flag is thrown. Langford is able to get it out to the first down marker, and more out to the 48.
I don't think it's coincidence that Coach Riley happened to work his way down towards the official who made that call. He walked about 20 yards calmly.
Calmly as it is Coach Riley, and Coach Riley is one coach that I would not want screaming at me here. I would not want his ire in my direction for anything. And a give to Reese Moreno. Moreno spins free of one, Burns there to corral him, and there is a flag as well.
That looks like that'd be a hold.
Maybe a little bit of a makeup call there, so to speak. Now, it does come from the far side this time. And like he said, I think they'll get Bowie here with a holding call.
Yeah, it looks like Peeler was the defender over there to make that play, and that he was the one that was held. Looks like it happened just slightly downfield by a yard, so it won't necessarily make it an official 1st and 20. It looks like 1st and about 19.
So they'll spot this. Backed up now at the 39. Like you said, 1st and 19, 5:09 to play here in the third. Austin High leading 28-17. You're watching the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network. Also part simulcast on 102.7 FM ESPN Austin, as it's ESPN Austin's high school football game of the week. Tello rolling to his left, pass into the Austin High sideline, incomplete.
Really good coverage on that side. Austin High defenders had both the deep and the intermediate pattern covered really well. Tello kind of forced to his right. Eventually was going to kind of run out of room to make that throw and really kind of sailed it high. Credit to the Maroon secondary. They've had their issues all season. They've had a couple tonight, but probably their best game overall to this point, knock on wood.
Austin High showing blitz. It's the one thing, it was just a simple, you call it a naked boot, there's no play action with it. Tello just gets a snap and it instantly rolls right, trying to mitigate this pass rush of Austin High. They do it again. Quick pass, here's Ball. Ball with room to run. Deering catches him at midfield, stops him at the 49. Wow, and there's another flag here. And Austin High celebrating and seemingly going to go against Bowie.
I think they're going to call it on the receiver, unsportsmanlike, who got corralled out of bounds. Just judging by the Austin High celebration, they're thinking this is going to get marked off against Bowie, 15 yards.
Yeah. There's still a conversation about this. Coach Riley is out there almost to the numbers waiting for the indication. 4:44 to go on the third. This would be a big penalty.
They will be confiscated.
Well, can we get the call? There we go.
There it is. Personal foul, and it will go against Bowie.
It is big because this pushes them back from midfield. 15 yards. They're gonna have to punt.
And then an unsportsmanlike. So multiple penalties. So you have the personal foul, and then you have an unsportsmanlike.
Wow.
On top of that, is the initial is
that referee has his running shoes on. He's going back 30 yards.
I mean, my goodness.
Wow.
We talk about this being a big penalty. Well, it's two big penalties. And it's been the story of the night for Bowie that the penalties have really done more damage to Bowie than anything that Austin High has done.
Yeah. I mean, Austin High has been able to convert, and offense has been great, but really,
it's the penalties that
really huge penalties. I mean, not the 5-yard variety. This is a 30-yard penalty. They've got at least one or two other 15-yard penalties, 10-yard penalty hold. I mean, they're just really racking them up now. They've got their offense out on the.
Well, it is third down.
Well, they still have.
Well, they still have it marked as second down.
Marked as second down. It's not second down.
So we're playing like it is second down, and Lawson Stoos comes up with a sack. Down goes Cruz Tello. Stoos just swings around the edge. And it was third down. There's the fourth down marker.
Okay.
So out comes the punting unit for Bowie.
And the Maroons should get really good field position here. Batts and Thomas are set up for the punt return at about the 50.
Right at midfield.
Yeah, right at midfield. I mean, even if they get a good punt off here, I mean, Austin High's looking at no less than their own 40 probably to start this drive.
3:52 and counting. Here's a snap. And it's a shanked punt. He got it into the Austin High stands.
Wow.
They will spot this at the Bowie 30.
Have they marked it off?
Well, they're still marking this off. And finally they stop at the Bowie 29.
I think that's a bit of a generous maybe they didn't get a chance to get a real good look at it because I thought it went sideways quick. Well, granted, so I guess that makes it about a 9-yard punt.
A 9-yard punt.
I guess maybe that is correct. A big moment here for Austin High. They've got to take advantage. So far, they've been able to do that all game. They are in very, very much plus territory, as they say, inside the 30 now of Bowie. A chance to really drive this lead up to a 3-score lead. And they're gonna kind of spread things out.
They are.
Got Childers in the backfield. Would not surprise me if they keep it on the ground here, get everyone running downfield, and give Childers some lanes. Oh, they're gonna
throw. Here's Latham stepping up. He wants Batts. Bryson Batts. Too far in front.
Well, Batts looked like he was turning it into a post and then kicking it back out.
Well, it looked like the corner had outside leverage, and it forces Batts inside because it looked like the entire intent of the play was either a streak or at least trying to get him to fade to the back pylon. Yeah. But because that corner's sitting with outside leverage, it forces Batts to have to try and work inside and around him, and he just can't work over the top quite fast enough to get there. So he'll come out for a breather. They'll split this out. Pistol set. And they give it to Childers. Childers, little jump cut, maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
On the run. Taken down by a pack of wild dogs.
So 3rd and 10 here.
3rd and 10. For Austin High.
Austin High kind of again in that position where they're really not quite in field goal range. So we could see usage of all 4 downs here to try to get this 10.
Right. Well, this is a big drive. We talked about it on the Austin High side. This is a big drive for Bowie.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Latham out of the gun. Childers in the backfield. Here's Latham in trouble. Latham can't get away. Takes a shot. Trying to escape, and he's going to be sacked back at the 35.
By number 33, Mike Barnes.
So that'll take you out of field goal range.
They're going to go ahead and punt it.
And they're going to send out that punting unit. Latham slowly moving his way off the field.
He's going back out.
He's got to go back out to punt it, but it looked like he was slowly kind of...
He took a bit of a
shot. I mean, he took a shot there. Yeah, maybe got a little rattled.
I like the call here. You got 4th and 15. You know, you've got an 11-point lead. You've got some room to work with. Let's see if we can pin them inside the 15, maybe even inside the 10. They're going to take a delay.
And that's intentional.
Yeah.
It does 2 things there for those of you at home. They take that delay game intentionally. Maybe made a little bit famous by Mike Vrabel doing so in a playoff game against the Patriots. Who knows? But you take the penalty, it backs you up, and really what you're trying to do, A, it helped you to chew up more clock. You're down to 2:01 to go here in the 3rd. B, the other side of it is it backs you up and gives John Latham here a little bit more room for him. It opens up that margin of error from a punting standpoint a little bit more for Latham. Snap, punt, Latham, low line drive kick, and it'll bounce into the end zone. Austin High couldn't get down there. Latham's like, shoot. Maybe needed not quite enough air on it, a little bit more of a line drive, and it takes that Bowie bounce.
So the Maroons probably a little disappointed. They didn't take advantage of that great starting field position. But here we are, we're inside 2 minutes already to the 3rd quarter. They're still working with a 2-score lead, 28-17. Chance with the defense here to step up, make a stop, get the ball back for them.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for Cruz Tello in the offense. Snap, read option keeper. Here's Tello outside to the left. And he gets wrapped up by Price. Deering ball came out late.
But I think they ruled it.
They were already whistling this dead.
Up by number 44, Will Healer.
Well, Tello certainly is not shy about running the ball.
No, he certainly is not. The problem of it, though, kind of turns into the more that Bowie keeps it on the ground, the more that time really starts to run away. We'll see how they can manage that clock throughout as they go to it again. A little triple option to pitch. And Austin High was ready for it. John Burns, David Zapata in on the tackle.
Well, they forced an early pitch from Tello, and the running back was still pretty far back. So nice job there by the Maroons defense.
Well, like you said, they force that pitch, and so it allows the defense that's out there to just move on and keep flowing. As Zapata comes out for James Scott, they go to that dime set. Trips to the left here for Bowie, and they're going to motion Moreno out to that side. Down inside a minute, down to the 30-second mark. Here's Tello, quick pass, ball, gets away from Burns, and it's a 1st down for Bowie. Out to the 39. Bowie wanting a horse collar call on the tackle. You're not going to get it.
I don't think that was one. He did have him up high, but it wasn't. He didn't get his hand inside the jersey.
Bowie does not need to snap it, but they're going up tempo here to try and do it. And and whistles called. Coach Riley burns a first of his 3 timeouts here in the second half. Wisely so, because Bowie got Burns to jump.
They got to jump.
So it's a timeout there. It does 2 things, right? Because Bowie's going up tempo after they get that first down. This stimmies that and keeps Austin High in a little bit more of a controlled position, because you saw there Austin High trying to run around, get everybody in position. You open up a little bit of a Pandora's box when you have that.
Exactly. Now Austin High looked like, I thought maybe they were going to get out of their nickel package, but they're going to stick with it, or dime, I guess, which looks like they got 6 DBs out there.
I guess it is more of a nickel here because you have Burns and Anderson out there. So it's a 3-3-5 package right now for the Austin High defense. There are 5 DBs on the field right now: Ruiz, Kim, Deering, Bridges, and Scott. 3 linebackers being Anderson, Burns, and Peeler, and then your 3 down linemen, Stoos, Friday, and Nelson. Snap, play, fake, pass, incomplete. Beautifully covered by Miles Kim. It was right on the hip of Owen Ball.
He was right there, and the throw was a little bit behind, so great coverage. Again, secondary's played solid tonight. Probably relative to the rest of the season and the type of passing attack that they're facing, I would say their strongest effort so far.
They're going to stay in this nickel package. 14 ticks of the clock to go here in the third, and a false start. The offensive line moved a bit too early. David Zapata nearly tore his ACL. He was running in, and he nearly tore his ACL trying to come back off.
Now they're going to keep him out of the game.
Coach Cecil wanting to stay in the nickel. And I can understand it. Right now you're backed up 2nd and 15, 14 ticks of the clock to go in the third. Here comes Cruz-Tello, 4x4s, or 2x2 set rather, and the 4 wide. He'll drop back, looking. Nelson nearly got there, force a throw fast, but Owen Ball comes up with a grab. Right there.
That's going to be a first down.
That's a first down.
That should be the last play of the quarter.
I think he got out of bounds.
Well, the clock should be started.
It should start. Bowie making some changes here substitution-wise. Campbell will come out, as does Owen Langford. In comes Willie Ryder. That play clock is running, but the game clock has not started yet. I think they're going to say Ball got out of bounds.
Okay.
Snap, give, here comes Moreno right up the middle, and he will drag the Austin High defense forward and pick up 4, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter here. Austin High leads 28-17, and it is Andrew Nelson who's shaken up there a little bit, gets helped up at the end of the third. 12 minutes to play, and one of these 2 teams will secure a playoff spot. Right now, Austin High's got it in their hands. Can they hold on to it? Stay tuned, fourth quarter, when we come back.
They were down 18, we scored 21 unanswered, and scored and won the game. Not in the playoffs. 2020. Usually if you win.
Welcome back here on the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network, and simulcast on the 102.7 ESPN Austin. ESPN Austin's Game of the Week. David Roy, Paul Longoria here in the broadcast booth. Start of the fourth quarter, and it is 2nd and 8. And now whistles blowing to put a stop to this. Very rare that you see that coming out of the quarter break, but here we are.
Yes, sir. Oh, they're resetting it.
They're resetting the chains. Okay, I was going to say, they had it at 2nd and 8, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's not quite right. It should be 2nd and 6. And so they reset it there. So here's a snap. Give end around. Trying to get outside is Wells. Wells gets away from Peeler and Deering. Able to turn up, tightrope the sideline. And he's out of bounds at the 39. It's enough for a first down for Bowie to start the fourth quarter.
First down, Bowie.
Needed 6, got 7.
Got it. Bowie on the march here.
They're staying up-tempo, trying to keep Austin High from subbing out. They've currently got him in that base defense. Play fake, Tello. Tello looking to throw. Gonna loft this one. Ruiz in coverage. Caught. Touchdown, Bowie. Rowan Wells in the one-on-one against Abraham Ruiz. And he comes down with it. Beautifully placed by Cruz Tello.
Yeah.
And maybe an even better catch.
Yeah, I think the catch was better. I think Ruiz was
Right there.
They're kind of in position, but if you're not tracking that ball, if you're not really picking it up, it doesn't really matter where you're standing.
Yeah, he got his head around late, but he never saw it.
No.
And so now it looks like Bowie's going to go for 2
Yeah, they got that
to try and make this a 3-point game. And now whistles come in. Bowie will take a timeout. .44 to go. Now Austin High and Bowie have both burned one of their 3 timeouts here in the second half. And give Bowie credit. They have, at one point, this was a 14-point game for Austin High, and now Bowie trying to cut this down to 3.
Yeah. It's been a game mostly in the 2-score territory. Now we're firmly inside of just a 1 score. Depending on what happens here, it'd either be a 5 or a 3-point game. But we talked about before the game, we were expecting a really good one, and that's what we've gotten so far. Bowie wanting this ball on the right hash.
Yes. It's going to give them the left side of the field to work with. Bowie has stymied this Austin High offense so far here in the second half.
Yeah.
Coming off the first half when the Maroons seem to be in control. Trips to the left. Here comes Wells in motion. Snap, play fake. Tello has to keep it. He's got it.
Okay.
3 points now separate the Maroons and the Bulldogs. And Bowie has battled back.
3-point game. Maroons about to get the ball back here. Really, this is where you kind of see what you're made of. Okay, they played a really good game. They played outstanding in the first half. Not a bad second half. They just haven't been able to get anything. They didn't get anything really done offensively in terms of points in that third quarter, but they're still working with the 3-point lead. They're about to have the ball. It's there.
Right.
They can put this thing in the end zone.
And chew up clock while you do it. You know, that becomes the other factor of this. That I think regardless of what you do, you want to see them chew up a little bit of clock.
Yeah.
Austin High, you saw them making an adjustment on the return team, trying to be prepared in the event of an onside or a squib. Dranglet will kick this one deep, and it will bounce out of bounds. And there's the illegal procedure call.
We'll get the ball there at the 30.
Good on Thomas, because Thomas ran over there, and good on Thomas not to touch it, to pick it up, to just watch it bounce and make sure it was going to. And give Bowie, I think, a little bit of credit too, because they were trying to kick it in such a manner that it stayed in and just rolled back.
I thought for a second, said, "Oh my gosh, please don't make it in the end zone or get in the pylon."
Here comes the Austin High offense. Let out by John Latham. He took a shot on the last drive. And he is a soldier back out there. 2 tight ends set. Bats in the backfield and 2 Latham's left. 2 receivers to that same side. They give it to Bats. Bats trying to get outside to the right, and there's a flag, and that's in the vicinity of holding.
I didn't see it necessarily on the edge.
Latham picked up, Bats has, as of now, it's a 5-yard gain.
I didn't really see a hold. And I think the Austin High staff is wanting to...
No, it's a low block.
Oh, okay.
Below the knees.
Wow. That's a big one.
So that's a huge penalty at this stage. 11:35, and it turns this into 1st and 20.
No, 1st and 25.
1st and 25, excuse me.
Yeah.
Backs him up to the 15.
Goes from 2nd and 5 to what should have been 2nd and 5 to 1st and 25. Wow.
And they're going to come out jumbo set. Give it again to Bats. Bats trying to get outside to the left. Bats in trouble. Down he goes. It's a loss of 1. Even more than that, they've got him back inside the 10. So loss of 6. Back to the 9.
2nd and 31.
I'm not sure what play call you have when you're at 2nd and 31.
Yeah, I don't know what you have on the books. Now they're going to run off both tight ends, Nelson Wright and Patrick Bird.
Yeah.
And they run out Davis and Collins. Play clock down to 5. They got to get this snap off. Snap, here it goes. Latham dancing to his left. Latham in trouble. Latham sacked. Back inside the 5. Brings up 3rd.
And a lot.
And 36.
Wow. I will say they were probably a bit fortunate, besides the fact I thought he might get tackled for safety, but he had that ball dangerously kind of away from his body, and Austin Bowie took a swipe at it.
Out comes John Latham. In comes Whit Davenport. He's in the gun, full wide. Give Bats. Bryson Bats gets it back to the 9. And now they have to punt it. And they will send out Peterson to do it. Latham limped off. And they sent out Davenport to hand it to Bats. 4th and 31.
He's still limping on the sidelines. Trainer immediately giving him his attention.
Peterson in his own end. Snap. Gets this one away. Spiraling kick.
Should get a good roll.
And it's a great Austin High bounce.
Yeah.
Out to the Bowie 42-yard line.
That's a big punt right there. That's a big punt, almost covered.
Well, you hear the Bowie faithful from across the way giving it up because their defense, they know what they got. And they're actually going to adjust his spot to the 43, so they give Bowie an extra yard here. 9:09 to play, 3-point game. At one point, this was a 2-possession game. We told you coming in, this is for the marbles. For Bowie, this is it.
Yeah.
If they don't get a win, this is it. This Austin High defense is called upon again. Snap, Tello, looks. Screen to the right side, here comes Langford. Langford, bounced off one, Owen Langford, still fighting, and finally brought down at midfield, but he'll pick up about 7 on first down.
Boy, that was some hard running after that catch. I'm not even going to say it was poor tackling. I thought Austin High had him squared up a couple times. He just kept fighting off, but big gain of 8 on first down there by Bowie.
Hardison Borth comes running off. In comes Scott. Austin High will come back out in that nickel package. 8:33 and counting. And it'll actually be 2nd and 2. Keeper. Tello has room to run. There goes Cruz. Tello dragged down by his ankles at the Austin High 35.
Drew Anderson.
Anderson, the one with a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah. If he doesn't make that tackle, I maybe Tello doesn't get in the end zone, but he goes probably at least another 25, 30 yards. He had a nice alley there.
Off comes Scott, in goes Borth again. Latham walking up and down the sideline, testing that ankle. 7:56 to go here in the fourth. Cruz.
Movement.
Tello.
Wow.
Keeps it. Tello gets tripped up in a diving effort by David Zapata.
I think they missed maybe early movement by the right guard over there.
David Zapata. 2nd and 8 for Bowie.
James Scott will check back in. Austin goes into their nickel. The 2nd and 8.
We're going to take a quick 10-second pause for station identification. We're listening to the Vibe Central Texas High School football game of the week on 102.7 FM ESPN Austin. So on 2nd down, Reese Moreno picks up a couple more yards, brings up 3rd and about 5. Out comes Scott, in comes Hardison Borth again. Big 3rd down, inside 7 minutes. The Maroon faithful on their feet. Tello out of the gun. Snap, play fake, keeps. Cruz, Tello's got the first down, and there's a flag.
Yeah, they got a hold. They got a hook on the side, on the edge. So that'll be coming back.
Bridges and company couldn't quite get there.
Good call.
And this is going to back them up, the holding call.
Yeah. You can see that defender got hooked. I couldn't see which one it was.
I think it was Bridges that got hooked. 6:23 to go. And this will back up Bowie to make this 3rd and about 15.
Yeah. It was pretty much right at the line of scrimmage.
Austin High trying to get set up. Tello out of the gun. Moreno to his right. Play fake. Tello taking a shot down the right side. Incomplete. He dropped it. Miles Kim in coverage. And it was too far in front for Rowan Wells.
It was close. He had a chance to make the play. It would have been a real good catch. But out of course the Bowie punt, or we think. Looks like Austin High will simply keep their defense out on the field. They will run bats out there. Now you've got to remember that. Okay, now they're going to run.
I was going to say, Friday started to come off, started to come back on, starts to come off.
They have nobody. They got to get somebody over there on the right.
Wells will punt it. End over end kick. Batts gets underneath it. Here comes Bryson Batts. He's got some blocking. Here comes Batts. Batts slipping free. Down to the Austin High 37.
I was about to say, get away from the ball. That was not going to be an easy catch. He caught it at about knee level.
I mean, he squatted down like he was in the weight room with a bar across his back.
And you got to understand, Batts is not tall anyway, but even he had to go down.
Yeah, he had to get down low to get underneath it.
Wow, but big return. So, but that was a big 45 seconds of the game right there. The holding call negating that first down, and then Batts with a big return out, about 30-yard return back out to the 40. So they call that like what's a winning play right there. Let's see if it holds up.
Out comes Latham. 5:50 to go. Austin High still leading 28-25. Latham. Give. Here's Batts. Batts corralled, spinning forward. Gets a yard to the 40.
Taking down number 5, Reagan Cooper.
And now Austin High going to take their good old sweet time with this. The last time the Maroons were able to clinch a playoff spot, they had to beat Bowie to do it.
2nd and 9.
That was 4 years ago.
And they had an 18-point.
They came back. They scored 21 unanswered. Bird comes in motion. Here's a snap. Latham to throw. Pressure in his face. Puts one up for Keurig. He's got it! Donovan Keurig's got it! It's a first down for Austin High!
Wow, what a catch, ball slightly underthrown. But you can see right in front of us, Keurig was ready to make that. He was in position to make it. He just had to come down with it, and he did.
It's like playing the boards in basketball. Keurig just boxes out the corner and goes up top and comes down with it. What a completion to get this down to the 32.
Well, he's come up big all season for them, kind of flying under the radar with some of the other offensive stars, but I mean, he's just making big catch after big catch all season long from the opener to just then.
Off comes Collins, in comes Childers. They give it to him. Childers able to fall forward and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage in the process.
Okay, so we're inside 4.5 left in the game. Clock running. Obviously, if you're Austin High, boy, a touchdown here would go a long way towards securing things, but got to make sure you take care of the ball. Let's not have any drive-killing penalties. Be smart.
They've chewed this clock down to 4 minutes. Bats set up to the left. They're in tight, him and Davis. Childers in the backfield, early movement. They got the snap. There's no flag. Latham wants Keurig. Incomplete. And there's a flag. Pass interference.
They didn't get the offsides, but they do get the bigger PI. Kind of maybe a 50-50. I mean, you can't. I thought maybe the Bowie defender late played it okay. I think it was some of the contact right before the ball got there.
There was a lot of hand fighting down there between both Keurig and the corner, but just really good work there by this Austin High defense. Looks like he was working against Taylor Gibbs. Latham out of the gun, too wide to the right, and Batts and Keurig. Snap, give. Here's Childers. Childers bounces off one. And Reed Childers still fighting. He's got it down to the 11. 3:41 and counting.
Great run there, a little bit of trap action. Childers followed up right into the hole.
Down to the 3:25 mark. Austin High still leading 28-25 and are now in scoring position. knocking at the door from the 11. 2nd down and 4. With Batts and Davis split wide to the left. Tying to that side is Bird. Snap, give, here's Childers. Childers with a cut, spinning forward. He's got the first down to the 5.
Big first down. Knocking on the door. Just outside the 5-yard line. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. They're about 5 yards away from really almost putting that last on the coffin.
A touchdown here would make this a 2-possession game. It would give them a 10-point lead. But they need to punch it in. Batts gets split wide to the right as a single receiver. Kurak in the slot to the left with Davis. Pistol set. Give. Childers with a cutback. Here goes Childers to the edge. Touchdown, Austin High. Reed Childers.
Boy, great play call. They spread things out. They had a little action bringing the guard over and really sealed the outside for Childers. Took advantage of it.
Here comes Peterson to tack on the extra point. Austin High.
Great counter there by the Maroons. Good piece of running. Solid running there by Childers those last couple.
Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. 35-25, Maroons in front, and are 2 minutes and 10 seconds away from their first playoff appearance since 2020.
Just a really great drive there. You want to call it a statement drive, whatever, but very well could be the one that puts them in the playoffs, clinches this game, puts them in the playoffs. And again, thinking back to that sequence of plays where Bowie had that first down 3. Easy hold call, though, pushes it back, forces them to punt. And then Batts with that punt return was huge.
Maybe the biggest part of that, I mean, that is, you're talking about the difference from starting back up in your own 5-yard line to the return that he gets it out across the 35-yard line. I mean, that's a difference of 30-plus yards that we're talking about here.
Let's also not forget the last punt from Austin High when they were buried deep in territory.
Peterson able to get this out.
50 yards.
Yeah, put him out here, and he got it out to about the 43 on that punt, back up inside their own 5. Latham tonight battling through injuries, and then finally here in the fourth quarter, they've been able to take it off his shoulders with a stout running game as this kick out of bounds for the touchback, or for the illegal procedure, rather.
I thought I was going to take out our camera operator.
Well, we might have.
But she managed to get out of the way.
She managed to get out of the way. 2 timeouts remaining for Bowie, and that's really where this focus now becomes for those of you at home. Bowie down 10. 2:10 to play, and they can only stop the clock twice here in these final minutes.
Bowie fans kind of filing out already at the stadium.
I don't, they're filing out. Maroon fans are filing down towards the field.
Yeah, everyone on their feet here at House Park.
Austin High running a defender in late, and it's Zapata. And Austin High playing coverage. Here's Crustello to throw. Quick pass, caught, and stepping out of bounds is Keon Campbell. Gets the first down out to the 41. So that'll stop the clock, 2:03 remaining, and picks up a quick first down.
First down to 41 for Bowie.
Tello out of the gun, trips to the right. Here's Crustello to throw. He's going to look. Wind up, comeback route, too far in front for Rowan Wells. Incomplete. It just went too far to the sideline, and Wells just couldn't get to it. That brings it down inside 2 minutes, 1:58, but it does stop the clock.
The Maroons just sticking with their nickel at this point.
Snap, Tello steps up, pass over the middle, it's caught by Wells, and he's able to hold on. It's a first down out to the Austin High 45, and there is a flag back at the 41 of Bowie.
It looks like
a holding call.
Well, it's right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know.
Well, no, it's offside. It's a decline.
Yeah. Decline that. Good catch there by the Bowie receiver, particularly since he was about to get crushed by 3 Maroons.
150 and counting.
Bowie, obviously, Austin High at this point, just keep everything in front of you. You got the score to play with. Don't give it up on a quick one over the top.
They're going to look to the sideline. 22 seconds on the play clock.
I'm not sure what the call. What do we?
1:46 to play. And everything has stopped. And I'm not sure what the stoppage is for.
Oh, they reset the game clock to 150.
Okay. Snap, Tello. Looks right, comes back, stepping up. He's in trouble. Tello escapes and is able to get out of bounds at the Austin High 35.
Oh, nice
It'll stop the clock with 1:42 remaining.
Austin High came with the pressure, kind of lost contained though on that left side of the Bowie offense until he was able to take advantage. And really at this point he's just trying to pick up what he can get, but he was hell bent on getting out of bounds. Great, did a really nice job. Good awareness there.
Second and a yard. Tello. Snap. Blitz in his face. Tello is trying to escape. He'll get rid of it. And it's incomplete. No intentional grounding.
He kind of had a receiver in that area. Not real close, but close enough for the officials to say, look.
I was going to say, because there is no question he got outside the tackle box on that one. He was more than 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Austin High is set 136. It'll be their first time to 5 wins since 2020. Pass to Campbell. Campbell steps out of bounds immediately after the grab. That's a first down.
They're doing a good job keeping everything in front. Again, you just got to really kind of keep making Bowie work here. Not saying you want to give up the score, but make him continue to chew up that clock. They got out of bounds on that. Stop it, but
Tello out of the gun.
Procedure. I did not call a flag on that.
Pass down the field. Incomplete.
I did not call a procedure. There's 2 guys.
Moreno, it looked like, certainly moved early.
I did not call that. Okay, well again, I'd have been really upset if he had stayed in bounds.
Yeah, no kidding.
Touchdown. That was a really poor non-call of a rather easily seen procedure.
Snap. Pass down the field. Caught. Touchdown, Bowie.
I'm not sure Bowie had 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, but all for naught. They get the touchdown. Deep throw.
A heck of a throw from Cruz Tello. Across his body, rolling to the right, on the run, and able to put that in the end zone for the touchdown.
Okay, well,
This to make it a 3-point game again with 1:15 to play. Snap, hold, kick is good.
Well, right now it comes down to this. You recover the onside kick if you're Austin High. Get your hands team out there.
Have to get it.
And you just got to get it.
35-32, Austin High leads. 1:15 remaining. Maybe the most important thing for Bowie about that drive is they still have both timeouts.
Yeah.
Excellent clock management, able to preserve the 2 timeouts on that drive and still have time if you can recover your own onside kick. For Austin High, gotta think you need to come up with the onside kick, and because your defense right now is on its heels, and they need the break.
They gotta just make this recover. You're an onside kick recovery from getting to the playoffs. Simple as that.
It's that simple. Everybody. Bats.
Quite honestly, I would have bats up.
I would too.
I mean, you can always have somebody back like Thomas or Childers or whatever, but
and Austin High is going to take it. Well, they're going to take a time out because they're trying. Coach Rocky Clark's trying to get his special teams in order, and just a little bit of confusion right now. As Austin High's onside kick team, we're seeing directions. Everybody's pointing like we need you here, and just trying to get everybody set up. Like you said, I would have bats as being on the first or second line to pick this up.
Yeah.
Currently, the way it was set up, he was back at about the 30.
I think they were trying to make sure they have their gaps covered and whatever, because you really want to just try to load up. You can't put everybody on the front line, but you're really crowded.
So everybody right now, I mean, John Latham is out there right now.
I saw Latham run out. I didn't know if he was running out for kind of some moral support or whatever, but no, he's on the.
Some of your guys who are out there, guys like Logan Davis, Reed Childers, Rex Collins, out there to recover the onside kick. Donovan Kirak as well. Abraham Ruiz, John Burns. Some big names out there. They've overloaded the right side. This is where it comes down to. The onside kick took a high bounce, and it's recovered! There goes Childers! All the way down inside the 30! Childers caught it on the bounce, and he's got it down to the 26! And barring calamity, the Austin High Maroons are playoff bound.
Unless my eyes were deceiving me, I think he caught it inside the team. He took matters into his own, because that was a really good onside kick.
It was.
It took that perfect first bounce, second high bounce that everyone looks for. But Childers took matters into his own and said, "Look, I'm going to get it."
Right.
Because there was about to be a mad scrum if he waits that 10 yards.
And Childers moves forward. Maybe gets away with one because of it.
Well, I mean, but it was there.
It was there.
It was there. He was going to make the catch because Bowie's got to wait that 10 yards.
And they'll give it right back to him. Childers spinning forward.
We'd have to see the replay, but I'm almost positive that it was inside that 10-yard mark where technically you still have free reign to make a clean catch.
Right, the no man's land, so to speak.
Bowie's got to hold off on it because that took a perfect onside bounce.
Yeah, right. Bowie will burn the first of their 2 timeouts. For those of you wondering at home, well, why does Austin High just kneel it? Well, it's for that reason. Bowie can stop the clock twice. And so the initial handoff to Childers got back to the line of scrimmage, but Childers on the bounce. And not just with the grab, but he almost housed it. I mean, that would have been, what would have been a dagger?
That was I'm going to have to go back and look at replay because again, that was a really good. You don't see really good onside.
No.
Until maybe in the NFL you do.
And even then, it's kind of hard. I mean,
but that was the perfect onside kick bounce, and Childers just simply said, "I'm going to get it while I can."
In comes Brandon Thomas now to try and ice this game. They're going to come out in the pistol. Bats in the slot to the left with Davis. Donovan correct, single receiver to the right. Nelson Wright, the tight end, to the same side. Here's a give to Thomas. Thomas cuts it upfield, and Brandon Thomas will pick up about 2, maybe 3 as he gets his way to the 25-yard line, and that's like that. Bowie will burn their final timeout.
Brandon Thomas on the run.
Come on, hurry up. I'm going to see that 0 on the timeout left. That's concerning me.
I don't trust it otherwise.
Yeah, they did have 2, right? They did have 2. Okay. Well, they're still showing 1.
Because they burned 1 earlier in this fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah, for the 2-point
conversion. For the 2-point conversion.
Okay. Well, they still have them with 1. Well, I'll take the officials' word for it. One thing's for sure, if they get another timeout after this, I'm going to raise
We're going to raise some questions.
Yeah.
1:03 to play. The Maroons are 1 minute and 3 away from going back to the playoffs. Childers back in the game. Donovan correct, single receiver here to the right. Tie in to the left is Nelson Wright. And Logan Davis out there. Are they a player short?
Yes, they are.
Here comes Childers, and Reed Childers got a yard with, I think, only 10 players out there.
I think they did. I counted.
I saw the 5 down linemen, the tight end, and 2 receivers.
Receivers and a running back.
Yeah. I think they were short 1.
Yes. Let's see.
We'd
4, 8, 10. Yeah, they got 10. They may try that play again, it looks like. So they don't have to snap the ball. They've got Austin Isaac 1 timeout left. My guess is I don't even know why you want to call it.
Well, I mean, but I would take the penalty, I would think.
Yeah. But or they'll probably call timeout.
They'll probably call timeout and then,
with 15 left and then or 16 left.
I mean, you're kind of in a tough spot here because you're leaving a prayer on the board. As there's the penalty, 14 seconds left. It's 4th down. And Austin High did not take their timeout. They'll take the delay game call.
I think
Rex Collins got ran out there, by the way. So there's your 11th player.
11. I think they'll just have.
Do you run it?
No, I
kind of have Latham kind of run around and then just throw it.
No, I'll be honest with you. I would just let them maybe pooch it, whatever. I mean, Bowie does not have their punt return unit in there.
Well, Austin High doesn't have their punt unit out there either.
That's true. That's true. So I guess they are going to run a play.
I mean,
I just hate to give them.
I don't know what you would do with this.
Well, there's only.
They put 16 seconds back on the clock.
Okay.
And now Austin High will take their timeout, and that'll be their final timeout of the night.
Here's my guess what they're going to do. They'll snap it. I think they will just have Latham pooch kick it.
Just kind of drop, very slowly buy time and then just drop kick it kind of late.
And I was just telling them, just punt it as far as you can. Don't worry about trying.
Right.
Just, That's what I would do.
Well, they're taking that timeout to discuss it. 16 seconds on the clock.
And I realize it may be overthinking, it may be overkill, but I would rather have them burn maybe 2 seconds and then burn another 2 to 3 by punting it out of the end zone, as opposed to trying to run around. Maybe, you take a chance of maybe dropping the ball, it falls out in the middle of nowhere. Someone can pick it up, just...
Don't flirt with disaster.
Yeah, maybe I'm just being paranoid here.
They're keeping the offense out there. Here comes Latham in the offense. But now, like we said, is it just a disguise and Latham will just really drop kick it? And that's possible. 16 seconds. So Bowie got an extra 2 seconds put back on the clock. Childers to the right of Latham. Here's Latham. He dropped the snap. Bowie's got it.
Okay. He that looked like he was going to punt it. And I think he just forgot to catch the ball. So that's
12 seconds. Bowie fans are on their feet now.
okay. Well,
Now, from where this is spotted, Bowie would have to go. You got to think you got to at least get it inside the 30 to have a chance at a game-tying field goal, but you only have 12 seconds.
my guess is they're going to throw a quick out on first down and try to. I don't know if they're going to be able to work their way into field position.
I don't know. They don't have any. They cannot stop the clock anymore.
Unless they get the ball out of bounds.
2-by-2 set. Here's Cruz Tello out of the gun. Bats is back to play this deep. Quick pass. Catch. There's your quick out. They're out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. That leaves 7 seconds on the clock. I got to think they got to go to that one more time to at least get into position and then take a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe if they can try to drive it another 20 to get to the 30 on an out, but man,
you're gambling there a little bit.
Yeah, that's a slow developing throw, and you may not even have time to get, even if you get out of bounds.
7 seconds left. Austin High leads 35-32. Here's Tello. Pumps. Throws it out of bounds. Incomplete. 4 seconds remain.
Well, really, this is going to have to go into the end zone. At this point, you don't have enough time to... Because even if you get a first down in bounds, it'll stop momentarily. You don't have enough time to run up there.
Right,
and kill it.
right.
Fine. So this one's got to go towards the end zone. At this point, there is no trying to get a game-time field goal, although maybe that wasn't even their goal to start. So now, if I'm Austin High, I would maybe at least rush the fourth person, although it doesn't look.
Well, it looks like Peeler is creeping up to do just that. There he goes.
Yeah, don't let the quarterback
Tello
be comfortable.
launches this one down the field, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. Austin High is won. Austin High is going to the playoffs. Austin High has done it.
What a game. What a game. We thought we were in for a great one, and that's what we got. 35-32 here at House Park. Maroons go to the playoffs for the first time since COVID was around.
Since COVID. It's the first time that the Maroons have won 5 and since that same time frame. The last time the Maroons went to the playoffs, they had to beat Bowie. They came back from 20 down, or from down 18, they scored 21 unanswered to do it then. Tonight it was not that story. Tonight it was a story of an Austin High team in full control. And an Austin High team that, give credit to Bowie, fought tooth and nail to get back into it. It's down as much as 14 tonight, and the Maroons fought back and held on, only scoring 1 touchdown in the second half, and it was the one that mattered the most.
Well, it was. They picked the right time to play the best game of the year. They didn't need it any more than what they needed it tonight. And I mean, so many great winning plays out there. I mean, if you look at the big overview of the game, yes, we know Latham had an outstanding game, particularly in the first half. We know Bats had a great first half and so forth. The defense played well, but so many individual, small, sometimes overlooked winning plays, particularly in the last half of that fourth quarter.
The Maroons. John Latham plays his best game of the season, undisputably.
I mean, just...
And he comes up in a big way and in a big moment. Bats had some clutch catches and plays. Maybe none more so than the punt return, but keep in mind, it's all set up. This win is set up by Childers taking matters into his own hands.
Yeah, and that was one of the really the special teams plays that we saw. Childers kind of finished it off with that great catch of that onside kick or corral, whatever you want to call it. But again, I still want to going back to that punt.
And I got to
when Austin High really was reeling on offense, they had the big penalty. They kept going backwards on the ensuing two plays. They were having to punt from about inside their 10-yard line, and they get about a 50-yard punt to really flip the field, which forced Bowie to go a long way. And eventually, that's where they got that hold call, which negated that first down. And after that, that's when Austin High took advantage, went to go score that really was the game-sealing touchdown.
Sometimes great wins aren't necessarily, like you're saying, just because you make great plays. Yeah, you have to make some of those.
Yeah.
But you also need the other team to make a few mistakes. And tonight, on a season where Austin High has been on the wrong end of those, tonight it was Bowie.
They made them. They made the plays tonight. And then
Bowie was on the wrong side of some of those.
In a closely matched contest. That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. Who makes the winning plays?
Let's go. Come on.
We're trying to get a track of our sideline reporters. We got post-game interviews coming to be set up. And so the Maroons. And you know, we talk about Austin High, they get the big win. We go to the other side though for Bowie. That's it! In heartbreaking fashion, that is it. As standing beside Bryson Batts right now is Claire Marie. We're still kind of getting them in position. We got seniors gathered up right now.
Here we go.
Latham, Batts, Stoos and Peeler all down there.
I'm here with Bryson Batts right now. Bryson, great game today. What does this mean to be going back to the playoffs on senior night?
We've been building up for this for 7 years. 7 years, so 7th grade, we've been building up for this. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm just happy for us.
Yeah, Bryson, 3 of the touchdowns today were because of you. What does this mean to the program? What are you feeling right now?
Well, it wasn't because of me. It's because of my O-line, all the blockers out there. This means so much to me, man. It means so much.
John, great ball control today. Kind of talk about your approach to this game.
Yeah, so no turnovers, obviously, the goal. I've had a lot of turnovers this season, so that's a big deal today. No turnovers. Just hit my receivers with it. Where O-line blocks great, you know. Offense was just working all around today.
Yeah, and what does this mean for you on senior night to be going back to playoffs?
It's just awesome, you know. We haven't been to playoffs in a while, and to finally do it my senior year, it's a great feeling.
Perfect. Hi, I'm here with Will Peeler and Lawson Stews. I want to first know, did you expect to be going into the playoffs at the start of the season?
I think we did. We knew the work we had was paying off, and I mean, this class of seniors has been working for a while, so we knew we had something special going on. Yeah, it's what we've been working for the past 3 years, and we had a good group of guys this year, and we just finally put it all together and got the win tonight, and now we're going to the playoffs, baby.
How do you feel knowing that you're a leader in defensive tackles?
To me, it doesn't really mean anything if we can't get that playoff win. That's all that matters to me right now.
All right, and now you coming back from an injury last season, how's this feel?
I mean, I'm just learning from that injury not to take football for granted. Had a great time this season so far, and I'm looking forward that we can play an extra good.
Thank you.
That is it for our sideline crew, and for Austin High, a playoff berth on the helm.
I think maybe we're trying to get Coach Riley.
I think we're trying to grab Coach Riley here and get him rounded up.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. We're still kind of waiting. We're picking through the crowd here a little bit.
Coach Riley's got the TV interview.
Yeah, he's got the TV interview, so that'll do it for him. KVU Austin, of course, was here tonight as well as part of it. But by gosh, I mean, here tonight, Austin High, in one of the bigger games of their season, we talked about it. Big game for both teams, but for tonight, the Maroons answer the call, and these seniors answer the call when it mattered the most.
Yeah, I mean, they really did. Again, it's so great to see them play their best game of the year at the most important time of the year, and I thought the staff came in with a really good game plan. You could tell they'd been busy in that off week. We saw a couple of new wrinkles. We saw some personnel changes up front on the O-line. Not people being replaced, just moved around.
Right.
And I thought the offensive line played easily their best game of the year. I thought the defense looked really good. Secondary gave up a couple of big plays, but overall their best game of the year. So many great small winning plays that you just love to see, and they just the Maroons just made more of them than Bowie. Just an outstanding effort.
Well, so Austin High catching fire at about the right time here in the season. They're going to have a road trip next week to Lake Travis. Not going to be an easy game, but if you're Austin High the way you played tonight, Lake Travis certainly looks beatable this season. So you could catch them at the right time here tonight. This is about the best time for Austin High to get hot. You want to see Latham come out of this healthy going into that game, kind of get him healed back up. But they get hot at the right time. They secure the playoff berth. And so now we get to kind of see, next week kind of determine seeding and playoff opponents and everything like that. But we thought and we knew coming in tonight, hey, there's a chance that there won't be any extra football on the cards for Austin High. And they took the cards and they said, nope, we're all in. And here we are. We're going to have some extra football here in November. So,
and when I think about going back just a few months when this was all being put together and we met with the Austin boosters there at the tavern, and we talked about looking at the schedule, projecting the schedule, and there was really going to be a very slim, if any, margin for error. And it likely was going to come down to tonight's game, and that was projected 3 months ago. It did. They had their best game of the year when they needed it, and they're going to go to the playoffs. Again, they got to get through next week. We know it's not going to be easy at Lake Travis. It is what it is. You got Westlake, you got Lake Travis, and then to a certain extent, Dripping Springs. But beyond that, they can look forward to having another game after Lake Travis. And back. There we go. We were in a hurry to tear down a little bit, but we got cut off for a split second there. Well, the point being, they're in the playoffs.
Well, they're in the playoffs, and when we talked to Coach Riley at the start of the season, we asked the question, like, what are the expectations? What is the goal? And he said, very reasonably, if we can win 4, I think we'll all be happy.
Yeah.
Well, they've done a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
They come away with winning 5 so far on the season, and still a road trip with Lake Travis next week. So we'll wrap up with that. Austin High is in for the first time since 2020. First time to 5 wins in as many years. And so that will do it for us and our radio audience on ESPN Austin 102.7 FM. On behalf of our entire broadcast crew, Ian, Maisie, Lulu, Cheyenne, Alita up here in the broadcast booth helping to keep the train on the rails, so to speak. We had Claire Marie come back and do a couple post-game interviews with us. James Scott, our statistician up here, and of course my broadcast partner, Paul Longoria, and all the folks at Vibe that make this possible. We will sign off. Austin High 35, Bowie 32, and it is the Maroons who are playoff bound. We'll see you next week from Lake Travis. Good night, everybody.